Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today the League of Ordinary Gentlemen proudly bring to you the Fantasy Football 5. Introducing Coach Jake Root.
Hi, good night, everybody.
No longer Quick Wit Slow Feet, still the producer, but also the Magic Man, Bryan Robertson.
Here.
Most nicknames out of anybody.
Co-host, Balls to the Wall, Bryan Roberts.
I'm not co-hosted.
He's hosting.
I'm not hosted.
And
back to my room.
JT, the commish.
I enjoyed your little introduction you gave yourself last week. I don't know why they got so upset.
I know, nobody else was going to do it.
I know. I agree.
Hey, stranger. Y'all done had a filed a missing report on me. Missing person report on me.
You know what we should have
We
done?
can't assume gender.
We should have, if there was some way we could find his old voicemail thing.
He was just playing and flew it into his coffee cup.
My old voicemail thing.
Yeah, where you say, hi.
Did I say it like
Is
that?
it hi or bye?
Hey, it's JT.
Oh, it was
You
Bob.
know what to do. Leave a message. Hi.
It was something like that. You know, you got to leave a good voicemail, prompt.
Message.
Yeah.
See, what he was anticipating was all the girls were going to say,
Oh, ladies love cool JT.
Who's to say
is that were you trying to be LL Cool J?
I was.
LL Cool
LL
JT.
Cool JT. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with
Man
that.
survives every horror movie he's ever been in.
He is one
Him
of
and
the first.
Busta Rhymes.
Him and Busta Rhymes. I watched Halloween. Was that Resurrection?
Yeah, that's the one with Busta Rhymes. And
I thought that was H2O.
No, H2O is with Josh Hartnett at the private school.
All right, Rain Man. Anyway,
What I was getting at, dude, that movie sucks, man.
Oh, it's terrible.
That movie sucks.
the new one's bad. Have you seen the new one?
New-
I
Yeah, I
haven't
did
seen
see
the
the
new
new
one.
one.
You talking about the one that came out this year or last year?
This
one.
year.
I haven't seen either one.
It's a drama, the first half of it. And
It's not.
he's
good.
got a helper.
Yeah, it's not good.
And then Michael Myers, after 30 years, just miraculously turns into a little bitch.
That's stupid.
He is like what, 70?
Yeah.
It came out. And
He
it
did
came out
not.
Like the,
He is still a stone cold
he has
killer.
been in many a closet, and he's come out every single daggone one of them. I don't care what you say.
You know what?
That's
fair
fair.
point.
That's fair.
Fair point.
I think the first one came out in like late 70s, and he was probably already 30 or 40, so yeah, I guess he's got to be.
Dude, he's pushing it.
Hey, he's good in shape. He's good in shape. Walking constantly. That's what it is.
Not anymore.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen him
Spoiler.
die. I've seen him die before.
Spoiler.
I don't think he's going to.
Nah, I don't think he's going to go.
I haven't seen him.
All right, so we're here to talk some fantasy football.
Are we? I thought this was a Halloween special.
Last week we was all off the rails.
And this week we're going to
We're going to get on the rails this week.
Yeah.
On the rails till week 7.
Train talk.
Train talk back to week 7 with our matchup review. First matchup, we have Jordon v. Scorp. This was the, what's the opposite?
What's the opposite of what?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to change screens.
That's your producer.
I call him the Magic Man.
El Diablo.
Jordon versus Scorp. The opposite of closest is furthest.
Yes.
This is the furthest away matchup. We had the team with no name, Jordan Powell, with a original projection of 135. We had the Scorpion King with an original projection of 102. Both teams outperformed their original projections.
Overachievers.
Yeah, that's good.
Overachievers.
That's good. Jordan just happened to
Overachieve a little bit more.
Oh yeah, 175 to 106 in favor of Giordano. Giordano was led by Joe Burrow, putting up a 50-piece.
Is that the most output this year?
No, it's either
I think
Lamar or Tua.
Tua put up 6 touchdowns in like
What
300
did
something
what did
like that.
Allen put up that week? He had 375 and 4 in the first half.
It's like 44 maybe.
And he didn't play the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Josh Allen has set out, I think, 2 fourth quarters so far this year.
How do you put up 50 points and only 35 for the game?
Because I think he had a rushing touchdown.
Let's see, what did he have? 481, 3 passing touchdowns, 20 yards, and 1 rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's back.
You think?
Beginning of the year, I was a little bit skeptical just because they were like a run-first team.
Yeah.
Past couple weeks, he's put up 300 plus, 1 400 plus game, 3 touchdowns in both, and a rushing touchdown in both. So Joe Burrow is he's back. He looks like Joe Burrow down the stretch of last year.
Agreed.
Okay. Not only did he have Joe Burrow go for 50, but he also had 2 running backs go over 30. Austin Eckler, his third 30-point game of the season. And then he had Josh Jacobs, who, again, second 30-point game of the season.
Right there near.
Boy, is
Yeah, but,
trending up.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about a change in outlook of a running back. Because what you drafted him last year and he struggled for you.
Beginning of the season, he was just kind of solid, like the second half of the season. Not these numbers, no.
And 2 years ago, he was like this, but he kept getting hurt. So he'd leave the game in the second quarter, miss 4 or 5 drives.
It's a contract year for him.
It is. They didn't
And they didn't pick up his 5th-year option.
Because they were trending on the other way on him, and now with a new coach, new system, New England's always had a pretty successful running game. Just
but it's never been just one guy.
No, it's
everybody was worried
They don't
about
care
Davis.
about running backs.
Other than
And they
that
brought in
year,
Brandon Bolden from New England, thinking that he was going to take over.
other than Corey Dillon, that's the last guy I can remember they just
Was it
gave the
Corey
ball
Dillon?
to.
See, I thought
And
it was the law firm.
Well, yeah, but there was somebody else in the backfield too. Was it? It wasn't James White yet.
No, that was who was that?
Burkhead? No, I don't think it was
No,
Burkhead.
it wasn't.
Danny White.
Shane Vereen? Was it Shane Vereen?
I love this
Dude, they had
splash
that
on
run.
pass.
Could have been.
Y'all might remember these commercials where it was like "Pick Me" for fantasy football.
Pick me. I remember.
Do y'all remember those?
I do
They had
remember.
the guy who
Chris
jumped through the car where he had both windows down, and he was a New England running back. Can't remember the name.
I don't remember that one.
I do
remember
remember
Chris
that.
Cooley punching through the wall and catching it.
Yes.
Chris Chambers doing the quick turnaround catch.
Andre Johnson throwing it up to himself.
Yeah.
With
Michael
the
Vick threw it out of the
Which
stadium.
Joshua Broach did that.
He did.
Jake's kicker, Mason Crosby, kicked it and hit the bell tower or whatever 2 or 3 times. Yeah, those were good
I
commercials.
miss
Running
kickers.
backs.
Fantasy stars
And I
of years
remember-
past.
Mm-hmm.
And then Demarius Thomas a little bit later at the Buffalo Wild Wings. The thing was only winners get wings. I hated that commercial because he was for the Broncos and they were really good. But they don't put those kind of commercials on anymore. Now it's just stupid State Farm.
Digress.
I digress.
Yes, and Jordan had a good week. Just those three. Just those three would have been enough. That gives him what?
Just those three put over
115?
115?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just those three players, could have put up more than what Scorp ended up getting. I jumbled that, didn't I?
Very, very well.
He also had, some solid performances by his receiving core, 15, right at 11, another 15 with DeAndre Hopkins. We talked quite a bit about him. Travis Kelce, 12.8. The only bad parts of his lineups were Mark Andrews with a 0.4 and then old Tampa Bay with a 4.
If any of y'all had put a bold prediction that Thornton would outscore Andrews,
If any of y'all
I
predicted
would've
that
been.
Carolina
That would've been
beat
extremely
Tampa,
shit out of Tampa. Well, look, in all fairness, has come out that divorce was finalized. He had a lot going on.
yeah. I mean,
Congratulations, Tom. Welcome back to the team.
Heck yeah. Glad to have you back,
MVP
Tom.
campaign from here on out.
You're a little bit behind us. We've all broken up with multiple supermodels and actresses before, haven't we?
I keep my personal life private.
Fair enough. How's your work?
On Scorp's side of the ball, he was led by Patrick Mahomes with a solid 32 playing San Fran. They blew that game out of the water second half.
That was not the close game we thought it was going to be. Thoughts?
Yeah, they should have gave McCaffrey the ball more. Boom, there you go. There you go.
Fair enough.
I mean, geez, I still don't understand that.
You're right.
Patrick Mahomes, 32. He had George Kittle with 18 in the same game. Outside of that, I don't know. Mike Evans, 14. And then
By far the leading scorer for them, right?
for Tampa,
Yeah.
he has to be. I mean, they didn't score a touchdown, so I don't see anybody having more than 14 for Tampa.
Yeah, true.
So, just not much for Scorp. He was having a down week with buys. He was missing, Dalvin Cook. He was missing Darrell Henderson. He was missing Adam Thielen.
Oh, this was the NSYNC team I talked about last week.
So, he had to start Latavius Murray, who put up 9.3. I guess you can be
But Jets defense is
satisfied
good.
with that.
He could have started the other Herbert over Rashad White.
Could have. Should have.
Probably should have.
It wouldn't have
Wouldn't have made
No,
a difference.
wouldn't have mattered. Go ahead.
What was it Cam said? Hindsight's 50-50.
Hindsight is 50-50.
The more I think about that quote, the more I believe that he might be onto something.
Who was worse
Not
at
anymore.
post-game interviews, him or Jameis Winston? It's Jameis Winston.
Jameis
It's not
Winston.
even close.
Jameis
Worst
lost all
outfits,
credibility
definitely
with that
Cam.
whole eating the W thing. And his team's just staring at him.
And
It's like my coach always used to tell me. What did he tell me? I don't know. That's just what he used to say. Jameis, what are you talking about?
now he's healthy and not even starting
He lost his job to old Andy Dalton.
The Red Rifle. How you feel about your boy losing his job?
Matt Ryan,
Mm-hmm.
not happy about it. Apparently the coaches and the players weren't happy about it either, but that was a owner.
He's washed. Washed.
He is washed.
It's
He's definitely washed, but if he I think he said if he got hurt this year, which he already apparently has a shoulder separation or something, if he's hurt at the beginning of next year, he has to get.
There's not going to be a next year.
Yeah, it's like his contract's fully guaranteed for injuries and a bunch of other stuff if he gets hurt and fails his physical. So they're like, yeah, we're just not letting him play at all.
They were better with
I think
Carson
it just
Wentz,
sucks.
I think.
They were
Poor
better with
Carson.
Andrew Luck.
Well,
Well, with his track record
I
and the
wanted to
Panthers'
be an
track record, he'll
architect.
probably be
Well,
a starting
fair enough.
quarterback next year.
Who?
Carson Wentz probably a starting quarterback in Carolina next year.
yeah, he's on the
Track
merry-go-round.
records, yeah.
Who's going to find their franchise quarterback first? Washington, Carolina, or Indianapolis? Go.
If you put them in order, I would say Indianapolis first, Washington second, Carolina third.
Washington already has theirs.
Sam Howell. Okay. What if Indy already has theirs and Sam Ellinger, and Carolina already has theirs and Sam Darnold? You just got to find a quarterback named Sam.
Yeah, that was rough, JT.
Yeah.
32 from Pat.
32 from Pat, 18 from George Kittle. That's his highest scores. Again, it's just hard to beat a team when they got a couple guys putting up 30 plus. 3 guys putting up 30 plus. One guy putting up 50.
He had 3 guys put up over 100 points.
And it's
Right. So it was gonna be a tough matchup.
3
for
guys
Scorp.
beat his team.
Right. It was gonna be a tough matchup for Scorp no matter what. Jordan's team's firing on all cylinders.
Recapping it.
Scorp, again, hurt by the bye. But Jordan's team right now, dude, he's undefeated, and right now he's got the best team. Right now he has the best team.
steamrolling.
So he also had a couple guys on the bench get him over 10. Curtis Samuel and Antonio Gibson, both from the Washington Commanders. 10 for Samuel, 15 for Gibson.
I think someone big to look on his team for weeks to come is if Claypool gets dealt, especially at the Green Bay talks.
Green Bay's not trading for a receiver.
Just saying.
I know.
Does
I've
get
been
dealt.
trying to talk about Green Bay getting Claypool since before the season started, but
Yeah.
I saw a rumor they said A.J. Green might be that
Yeah,
guy.
why is that?
Why? That's not going to help.
I know
you.
Green Bay, huh?
You on to something, Rabbits.
That's what they're
And
doing.
do they
It's
make-
marketing.
Yes.
Marketing.
He's
It's all
also
about-
got freaking Van Jefferson too, and they said Van Jefferson's going when he comes back. There's no like limitations on him.
It doesn't
Trade
matter
for
who
Allen
it is.
Robinson, is that what you're
Sometimes
saying?
you touch my leg.
He's like top 3 in red zone targets. Allen Robinson.
He gets like 5 targets
Really?
a game, and 4
Yeah.
of them are in the
He's
red
not doing
zone.
anything with it.
No.
Yeah, every single one of his targets, for the most part, he's Shenko. He's Basante Shenko. Only
Oh,
gets like
baby.
3 targets a game. They're all inside the 5.
he's a touchdown dependent receiver,
Youth.
which is hard to come by.
Who's the touchdown dependent receiver you think of?
Touchdown dependent receiver? Oh, I don't really think of anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what
He's cornering. his
I
own
see
market.
what he was doing
He's
there.
cornering his own- I couldn't think of one, so I was going to try to think of one while you were thinking about it.
Well,
There's
Yeah,
nobody.
okay.
All right, well that takes Jordan to a solid 7-0 and in first place,
Well done.
and that takes Scorp to 4-3 and in 4th.
Well done.
All right, second matchup:
What we got?
Michael versus JT.
Michael versus JT.
All right, so original projection was 118, called a personality, to 102, the league versus me. Final flip,
Game over.
final 100 to 112 in favor of Michael Smith, the league versus me. Michael was led by Jimmy Garoppolo
Jimmy G.
with a 20 spot for QB. Then he just had kind of some, again, just solid performances. Ramondre Stevenson keeps showing up and keeps getting a pretty heavy workload.
Yes.
19.8, that was Damian Harris's first game back, but they were trailing pretty much the entire game. And they have some quarterback controversy.
Yeah, what
They
was
do.
that one about?
That was that much
Mac
strange.
Jones is starting tomorrow.
Is they already announced that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Starting does not with him.
Well,
It'll
he
be
started
one
last
play.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Then
did
they benched him, brought in Zappy.
Zappy.
He gets 2 quick touchdowns
Mhm.
to
Throwing
wide
bombs
open
and 50
receivers.
Yeah.
And then
Well, the
you
one
know,
he threw
he-
to Devontae Parker was like in triple coverage. Devontae Parker just.
the one he threw to Jacoby Myers was completely busted.
Oh yeah, and he almost.
Yeah, he almost
The
did.
running back theory is moving to the quarterback theory in New England. Doesn't
Yeah.
give a shit about running backs. Apparently doesn't give a shit about quarterbacks.
Not
Yeah,
bad.
if you got 2, you got none.
So he had 19.8 from Stevenson. George Pickens had 15.
Slim Pickens.
Alvin Kamara 14.
Is he still alive? He's dead.
Slim Pickens?
Yeah.
The hell is Slim Pickens?
The actor in all the old cowboy movies?
I don't know.
Got
I'm
nothing.
pretty sure he's in Blazing Saddles.
Is he?
I think so.
I don't care about him.
All right, fair enough. Moving on.
All right.
Just asking questions. You brought
Would
him
you
up.
make it known that we're doing a morning podcast? This is going to be completely crazy.
We're doing a morning podcast, so it might be completely crazy.
It's 11:30.
That's still morning.
Hey, the man's got a point. Man's got a point. It is still 8 a.m. Jacoby Myers, 10. Yeah, just solid, kind of all the way around. Nobody really blown out of the water, but again, nobody really letting him down too much. 6.8 from Mooney. Yeah, not bad on Michael's side. And it was enough to pull through with a 112-100 victory on Cult of Personality side of the ball.
Daggone 1012.
Nothing. Highest score, Baltimore's defense with 19.
It's a good start.
Good start.
Outside of that,
Kyle Pitts let you down.
Big surprise.
What do you know? What do you know? Yeah, no score in the 20s. Several single digits with Kyle Pitts. What do you know?
What do you
2.4.
know?
Jamal Williams in a spot start against Dallas. Dallas got a good defense. 6.8. And then Hunter Renfrow 7.
Steady
None of that.
production from Saquon. Consistency is key.
Yeah.
How's his shoulder? Is that completely going away now as far as like his injury where he kept going in and out? Is that
That's what they said.
okay? I don't see an
They
injury
brought him
there.
off the injury report, I believe, like Friday of last week.
Okay.
So, yeah, no injury designation whatsoever.
Yeah, he's dead.
Slim Pickens.
Yeah.
And again, just nothing stands out. Nothing stands out. Score 100. Nah, ain't nothing there. Ain't nothing there.
What's there?
Nothing.
Daggone.
Nothing. Maybe should have started Pollard, but it wouldn't have changed the final. Michael picks up the win. I ain't really got much else to say about this one.
What are your thoughts on Garrett Wilson? A few weeks after, is it Zach Wilson just not throwing the ball?
Y'all right, Zach Wilson sucks.
It's not.
I didn't think Joe Flacco was going to be better than
Joe Flacco throwing
Zach
the ball
Wilson,
like
but
60 times a game those first 3 or 4 weeks was fool's gold. But it was working. Their offense looked good.
But then they
And
started
then their
just
offense
giving
looked
the
good
ball to
with Zach-
Brees Hall, and it was working.
So
Now,
one more week, give it a chance.
Now
Thanks
what
for
it
bringing that up.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to your pain.
We'll get to it with
I
Kevin.
do have a little bit of hope
The
for
pit
him.
of despair will happen. It will happen.
I do have a little bit of hope for him now that Brees Hall is out. That's 25 touches a game. They got to spread out somewhere.
Right.
Elijah Moore, who
You
knows?
sound like a horsey.
Corey Davis is hurt.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
He might be the only show in town.
he might be. And
So
so,
they might just punt on second down.
It's New York. They got plenty of shows. They got Broadway.
they're actually in New
They're actually
Jersey.
in New Jersey.
Ah. It's true.
Everything is legal in New Jersey.
Hamilton.
Well, look at me. I don't watch shit.
I got nothing.
All right, well,
I got nothing.
moving on. I'll
All
start
right.
saying Hamilton, so it's going to.
That takes Total Personality to 4-3 and in third place. That takes Michael Smith, the league, versus me to 4-3 as well,
What a
and
turnaround.
in fifth place.
Michael's making an early turnaround.
What do you-
Usually this is like week 12 or 13.
Is he
so-
peaking too early though?
I don't know.
He's got a solid team, man. He's got a
He's
solid
without
team.
his best running back still.
Yeah,
Best
DeAndre Swift
running back, and
gets
he
him back
lost
this week.
Both of the quarterbacks he drafted, he lost, and he's got 3 new ones.
Yep.
Shiny new
So it
toys.
is possible.
He's trending up. He's trending up. All right, third matchup.
Third one.
Tyler versus Andrew.
Tandrew.
In week 7, we had Autonomy is American versus Smith Schuster and the Juju's.
I don't think that's how you say
Autonomy.
that. Thank you.
Thank you.
It bothers me.
Original projection 116-97 in favor of Autonomy is American. Final 114-107 again in favor of Autonomy or Autonomy is American.
I'm a Rican.
Again, another low scoring week right here. Tyler was led by Aaron Jones with 24.1.
In a loss.
Yeah,
What
loss.
a confusing backfield. In my
What a
opinion.
confusing team.
Yeah, like I mean, how many of us were pretty big on both their running backs coming into the league?
I was
The season-
high on Jones. AJ Dillon I thought would get the ball a lot more than he has,
A lot
but
more.
I really did like.
I
Aaron
thought
Jones.
he'd be a touchdown.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I thought he was going to
I
score.
thought Aaron Jones all over the field, and when they get inside the 5, just
Like I would have
That's
took,
what I thought.
I would have took AJ Dillon just for the possibility of 2 touchdowns and 40 yards.
I did.
Because I mean, yeah,
I did that.
that was kind of his.
The Chris
I-
Johnson,
like,
Lindell
we-
White.
It was the
type of-
Lindell
Yeah.
White situation, or who was it? Thomas Jones when Jamal Charles was going crazy
Yep.
in
Yep.
Kansas City.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's kind of what I thought too. I still like Aaron Jones.
He's just kind of all over the place. Like 9, 34, 13, 9, 5, 24.
He's been like that every year though. He'll have
It's frustrating as an owner.
He'll have single digits, or usually he'll score more than once, like 2 or 3 touchdown games, 4 touchdown games.
But he went 2 back-to-back single digits, so this should be 2 back-to-back double digits.
It's not usually a trend. It's just it's one of the other.
I had 9. He had 9 receptions.
I think the thing that I noticed most in the highlights that I saw was how good he was for Rodgers out of the backfield receiving the ball.
He
had that touchdown where he kind of like lost the guy.
He's their best receiver.
Yes, especially with Lazard out, which kind of goes over to Andrew's team.
Lazard's overrated as well.
Well, but he
ain't got
anyone else.
Randall Cobb's out now. Christian Watson's still out.
In a perfect situation, Lazard should be a number 2 or a number 3 wide receiver, and he is thrust into a number 1, and it's not really close.
They're missing Devontae Adams.
But he couldn't handle
big time.
But he was solid.
Yeah, they're missing him.
He's a bombardier.
While talking about Rodgers and Green Bay a little bit, and Andrew does have Rodgers. Have y'all been surprised at the fall off of 2 of the best quarterbacks we've ever watched in terms of fantasy?
Let's pull it up on here on the screen. Season-long bold predictions, way back in the back. Bryan had Brady falls off a cliff.
No.
Jake had
It's
Aaron
not
Rodgers
over
is
yet.
not a
It's
top
over.
fantasy
It's not
quarterback.
over yet. It's not over yet.
You two fellas are right there.
What do you have?
I'm guessing
Rodgers is not a top 10 quarterback.
Aaron Rodgers is not a top 10 quarterback.
Well done.
Not.
Oh, but hold on a second. Bryan did have another one. Baker Mayfield has a better season than Brady. Not far off, but still not far off.
I can still come out right on that.
Yeah,
He's not even starting over PJ Walker.
But you said Brady could run the table for the rest of the season. You said that earlier today.
He's a single man now.
So again, I think
But I
jury's
think
still
it
out
is.
on that one.
On these little putin.
But it's crazy that what Jake just said about the 2 falling off a cliff. Rodgers has won the past 2 MVPs, and last year I think Brady led the league in passing yards or something.
Yeah.
We knew something.
Yeah, something.
We
knew he was
We
cooking
were cooking
He was
something.
cooking something up.
It's always crazy though, like
It's
consistent quarterbacks throughout their very long, productive careers.
I don't know why
And then
you only put 2 in there. You didn't throw Matt Ryan in there.
Matt Ryan's
I mean-
not a legendary quarterback.
no, but the benching does surprise me there.
Sure,
and
yeah.
I'll talk more about it with your team because you got Michael Pittman, who's the biggest benefactor of Matt Ryan. But he's had some games this year over 20 fantasy points, had big passing yards, got it consistently downfield.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, ownership's just like, we're not going to make a playoff run with the roster we have now. And if he's in, he gives us too good of a chance to win and take us out of a possibility of
Go ahead
drafting
and rip
a
that
quarterback.
Band-Aid off.
And in some ways, I don't know if that's even, I don't know, man. Baker clearly wasn't getting the job done there. But do you think
Speaking
that has
of all-time
something to do with
quarterbacks,
ownership sometimes being like, the roster we have now cannot compete for championships? Like,
Why continue to stay in mediocrity
Yeah.
when you just go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off, trade away everybody,
yep.
and win games with Deontay Foreman?
So does Indy start trading people?
Andy?
I don't think Pittman or
You
Taylor
talking about like Ramsdale?
But how?
hold it together.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, I don't know who would they trade.
But that's what I'm saying. Taylor's untouchable, so is Pittman, in my opinion. Like, you cannot trade those two.
They don't have the pieces.
And then what else
And
is
then
on
everybody
that?
else is expensive.
We started.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's quarterbacks falling off a cliff. Young guys coming in and playing. Zach Wilson, Mariota. A bunch of these offenses just go to where they're only throwing the ball 10, 15 times a game.
Is that pass?
Nah, that's all. Travis Etienne, 18.4. James Robinson didn't get a single carry last week, and James Robinson is not there anymore.
Go!
Is it kind of weird how quick they transitioned there? We said it was trending in that direction, but James Robinson at the beginning of the year, we were like, wow,
He
he
was
recovered
scoring
well from the
touchdowns.
Achilles.
Yeah.
He's like the same guy, and all of a sudden, he's not getting carries or trading him away for a six or four.
Six.
I think
maybe
this was
it could be a fifth. I think
This is last year of his contract. They already got ETN. They saw what they've got in ETN. Just go ahead and trade him while he's got any kind of value because he wasn't
Watch
in
ETN
the
tear his
long-term plans.
ACL this week.
I will watch that.
Then that's what he tore last year, right?
Mhm.
ACL.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're playing a home game in London this week, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Get those lineups set early.
With Denver, with Russell Wilson doing high knees on the.
On the plane.
God, that guy.
I hate him so
I'm
much.
on
I think
the
the
other side with
league
you,
hates
boys.
him too. Like watching Justin Tucker, a kicker, make fun of him was glorious.
I think most people hate him right now because they got so many freaking primetime games and those games suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
7.
do.
7.
Yeah, I know.
But
games.
he still
Out
talks
of
about himself
17.
like he's like an elite quarterback, and it's like, you're not.
Yeah.
Just talk about
what a
another
great
big ball. I mean, man, this kind of.
What a great coaching job by Pete Carroll that he's kept this under wraps for like a decade.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Mike Tomlin did with Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell and Juju and all those guys for a long time. And then just now the Cats are both out of the bags.
God, Andrew's team is hurt.
Andrew's team is hurt.
Andrew's team is hurting.
He had Adam Lazard and Debo
What's up?
Samuel in his starting lineup last week. 6.9 from Debo, 8.5 from Lazard. Both of them declared out for this week. Andrew was led 24 by his defense, Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Detroit's offense is really falling off.
The Detroit's offense, first, 3 weeks, is the highest scoring offense in the league, most yards.
They kind of need their number 1 receiver and number 1 running back to come back.
That's
That
a
would
big
help.
part
Does
of it.
help. That
That's a
would
big
help.
part of it. DeAndre Swift went out in week 3.
And we'll talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown in a little bit, but he went out, I think, week 5. Week
Sounds
4 or
right.
5.
The other big thing that I like about Andrew is
His
the
personality.
foresight to pick up Foreman.
Oh, okay.
Because
His foreman sight.
yeah,
Or his foreman
Chuba out this week. Foreman looked really good running the ball last week.
He
He
did.
broke off a couple big runs, and then McCaffrey will get more.
acclimated into the
Yes, and I still believe once he figures the zone blocking scheme out, gets more comfortable with it, that his fantasy value will go up a lot.
And it'll help when James Conner comes back.
Yeah, and they're talking
Maybe.
about trading Jeff Wilson, so McCaffrey will get even more.
Yeah.
So you're saying McCaffrey, Foreman is like a flex play, James Conner, like Andrew's team gets a lot better.
And he's got
when healthy.
Wandale when they just traded Kadarius Toney, so now he's the unquestioned
Yeah,
number 1.
Kadarius Toney was
Kadarius
taking away
wouldn't
all
play
those targets.
But I mean, Wandale's only played what 2 games?
Look,
all year?
I like Kadarius Toney, and I saw when you picked him up, and I was like, oh, I did it. I did it.
Yep.
Why did I drop him?
It was you.
It was. It's all right. Juju had a good game as well, 21.9.
Back-to-back 20-plus games. Right?
That is.
And he made a couple-
19.8. I'll round up.
We'll round up.
So we'll give him 2 20-point games last 2 weeks. Both games over 100 yards receiving
100
and a touchdown.
Yeah.
And what I liked the most, he took a simple play and made it a big play. Like it was a simple out for 5 yards, and he made a guy miss, and then broke it down the sideline for 6. Like
Yeah.
I always like watching guys who are reliable underneath, but then they have the opportunity to make big plays, like Jamar Chase was doing last couple of weeks.
And he's had consistent involvement all year. He's had 1 game where he had 3 targets and 1 game where he has 5. Every other game he's had 8 targets.
Yeah.
So he's getting used consistently. It's not like he's just disappearing.
Yeah, Juju was an interesting one, like in the draft, like when I was looking at it, because I'm like, okay, Juju
What's he going to be?
hasn't been very good past couple years, as the number 1 receiver.
Was that injury related or was that just dysfunction in
Now he's got the
Pittsburgh?
best quarterback that he's played with.
Yeah,
No
well,
shade on Big Ben, but Patrick Mahomes can do things that
We
a
forget
lot of
about
quarterbacks
Duck
can't.
Hodges.
I did forget about Duck.
You remember that
Hodges.
dude?
I do remember that dude.
Beating the Chargers on primetime a couple years ago. That was fun.
Hey, Chargers suck.
Yes, they did. And do.
Still do.
Yes.
Still
True
do.
statements. You're saying true statements. Brian's praying or he's worried?
I'm just listening.
Okay.
Dak came back last week.
He did.
14
What did he do?
14 points. They didn't throw the ball around the field as maybe. Didn't you make a bold prediction on Dak?
4 touchdowns and something. Let's see.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, they just didn't throw it around the field. They ran the ball
That one was right.
effectively with both Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard.
And Detroit's offense just being completely inept.
Yeah, they
didn't
were
make
not
it have to
scoring.
be a shootout to have to throw the ball. Brandon Cooks, is he?
Wide receiver.
Yeah, but we talked about him being on a bad offense, but him being the only show in town, so he would get a lot of involvement.
But it's Lovie Smith's offense.
It hasn't
We should
happened.
have realized that he
We
was going
should
to
have.
run the ball.
Lovie Smith is very John Fox-esque.
Yes.
Yeah,
And they're saying Brandon Cooks might get dealt.
Yeah, he's on the.
that is true. He's
Might
probably
get
Yes.
dealt to the Rams. That's what it's saying on the
Trade
player
deadline's
card.
this coming week, right?
Yeah.
Tuesday?
That's where he previously was at.
He's
right
he's
before
played for
Texans.
the Rams.
Mhm.
He's
been
played
what?
for a lot of people.
He was at the Saints. Got traded for a first-round pick, I think, to
He
the
was
Pats.
something at the Saints, man.
Was it Pats?
Yeah, and then he was the Pats. I
To
think he
the
got traded
Rams.
as a first-round pick for the Rams, and then I think he signed with Houston.
I can't remember
I
how.
don't
he got
remember, but
it.
yeah, he's been at like 4 or 5 different. He's
He
always
signs with Houston.
But he's been no state income tax.
Well, they had Deshaun Watson at that point.
The
too.
Cowboys are also there.
Yeah, but they had Deshaun Watson at that point too. Like everybody thought that franchise was turning up quick.
That's true.
Never did forget
Didn't
about
get them
that.
sausages.
Yes.
Indeed.
Sausages.
So that takes Autonomy is American to 2-5 and in ninth place, and it drops Smith Schuster and the Jujus
Yes.
to 1-6 and in 10th. All right, fourth matchup.
Fourth one.
Ooh, two of these fellas sitting at the table.
Oh.
All right, we got Bryan versus Jake in our fourth matchup. We had original projection of 125 to 122 in favor of
That
Victim of the
was a
System.
close one.
It was a close one. The final, 119 to 114. Another
Also a
close one.
Yeah.
Big Rob led by
Big Herb.
Justin Herbert with 21.
In a terrible play. They played terrible.
I figured that's what that would mean.
Yes.
He's throwing the ball an awful lot.
Slinging it.
He leads the league in pass attempts.
Yeah, he threw ahead another 51. Yeah, 51 attempts. That's coming off the previous week of 57 attempts.
51, 57, 39.
Without a
34,
touchdown.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
But if they can get some healthy receivers, you do have one of their formerly healthy receivers, Mike Williams, who's now out for what they saying 4 weeks.
4 weeks possibly with a high ankle sprain.
He did get you 18.1 in week 7, but looks like
The fact that it was only a high ankle sprain is good news for you because that looked like almost like the Dak injury where he broke his leg a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It looked nasty.
But my Chargers.
But he only got a high ankle sprain, so that's good news out of a bad situation.
Thank you, Doc.
Yeah.
21 from Herbert, 18 from Mike Williams. He also had an 18 from Raheem Mostert.
Yep.
I bought into him, and it's paid off.
I think he did good there, man. I think he did really good there.
Metcalf left early in the same game Mike Williams left. He did. Which is not great.
And what?
Jake and I both just. At what cost? At what cost?
We mean
We lost guys that are.
you did lose guys,
Jake's
but
coming a little bit worse than me, but
I think you have a couple bright spots, Brian.
I do.
DJ Moore looked pretty good, being the absolute number one de
Being the number
facto
one
option.
offense where he should have been the number one offense. Yeah.
With a 16.1, that's his best game of the season. Again, P.J. Walker may not be the quarterback of the future, may not be the quarterback for the rest of the season, but
He's the quarterback of the right now.
And he throws the ball to DJ Moore.
Yeah,
And he
and-
throws the ball?
Well, Andy Dalton does throw the ball.
so I think DJ Moore could end up turning the season around.
Another receiver
I
who's
hope he
been
does.
mentioned a lot in trade talks has been Judy. A lot of the proposed trades that I've seen for the Packers have been centered around getting Judy. So
Giants also have interest in Judy.
I think it's a
Have you
situation
noticed since
where
they
he can
put
be
him on the
back in.
trade block, or people have been interested, they've involved him a lot more the last 2 or 3
They're
weeks.
trying to
They're showing off.
highlight
I think
him.
they're trying to show off their, get more. I don't know. He's had
drive up the asking price for him,
yeah.
which is smart.
Last 3 weeks, 8 targets, 7 targets, 11 targets.
Yeah,
Before
so
that, he had.
I think your
4 or
team's
5.
trending in a pretty good direction.
We'll
Receiver's
see.
been your weak spot, and you knew that, draft night.
Between the trades and dropping heads, I've never, with one position, this much in my life.
Yeah, Chris Olave,
You also
Michael Thomas ain't coming back, it looks like, anytime soon. Jarvis Landry, who knows? He's the number one option there. He's been good for you, solid each week.
I've been high on Olave since draft day.
Sophomore year of Ohio State.
Ohio State, well, there's that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think your team's trending up, Roberts.
We'll see.
I think your team's trending up.
You won with a week with Fournette, who's been one of your most consistent players, only
Played
having
like
3 points.
Doo-doo! But
Bad.
Carolina's defense, man. Carolina's defense was really good this past week.
Jake,
Yep.
man,
Jamar did good.
Jamar did really good.
Well,
And he left the game with a hip injury and then came back and still did good.
Yeah. Jamar did really good for you. You are going to be missing him for, it looks like, at least a couple weeks. They didn't put him on the hour.
Not
they're
as long as other people.
yeah, but did you actually read the injury report for it?
Yeah, it's saying 4 to 6 weeks. That's what they're.
A hip fracture and torn labrum.
But they also said they weren't going to put him on IR, is what I read, because they said his
Buys that third week.
and then his body is a different thing. Like he's almost like Adrian Peterson, like he heals faster than everybody else or
I know.
something.
I
don't
mean,
know. It was a weird.
There's a lot of wishful thinking.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a weird press conference.
But high level, I mean,
I just
high
read
level
exactly what they
athletes.
said was wrong with him, and I'm like, man, that sounds like
That's not a quick fix.
No.
It don't sound.
Slow feet.
Especially for a guy who's built on bursting in and out of breaks.
It's going to slow him down.
Not having
There's no way it doesn't slow him down.
Well done, Robert.
But, jury's still out. He may be back in 3 weeks. He may be out.
They're
May be
doing
back in 6 weeks.
Could be done for the
I
season.
just
Could be done
don't
for the
want him
season.
to. I don't want him to rush him back.
You got Tyler Boyd. Ah!
No. If they rush him back, Jake puts him in his lineup. He gets 1.5.
Oh,
and he
like
gets 3
Keenan Allen?
injuries. He's out for the year.
Yes. The
Yeah.
one where they said, the plan was to only play him.
Yeah,
in the first half.
I read that, and I did read before the game that he was on a limited snap count, but
Yeah.
the thing I read was like he'd be in there in red zone opportunities.
Third down, red
Might
zone.
score a
And,
touchdown.
yeah, so I decided to roll the dice other than making the change. I was going to go Tyler
Russian
Lockett
roulette.
there, who's no longer on the team. But, man, watching him, Brees Hall, Zeke's going to be done for a while.
Rename your team to the alphabet team. You got a bunch of letters.
You do.
All
Yeah.
your fellas' names.
Brees Hall, who's been probably
Dude,
the
he was
biggest
like-
bright spot on your team with Jamar Chase.
Finally found his answer at running back.
He was lighting it up before that against a good Denver defense. Like,
He was,
yeah.
I was excited because I thought this was the game that he might
I
come
had
back
like
down.
60-yard
Bottom line, I had
touchdown or
no
something
business winning this week.
Well,
Absolutely
you
no
did,
business.
but you had the same situation. You lost Metcalf early in the game.
I didn't have a guy put up 13 points in the early part of the first half.
I think Brees Hall only had 3 or 4 carries
Yeah.
before he got hurt. Yeah, 4 carries for 72 and a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean,
Man was
he
trending
gonna
up
put up
quick.
close to 30.
Yeah.
Man was trending up quick.
If it was a keeper league, I would have been like putting him on our
Put him on
stash.
and you stash him, yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott got you 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, again, I thought he ran the ball well, except for he's hurt. So sounds like it's going to be a couple of weeks there at minimum.
What are they? I know that they designated
technically
as
have him,
doubtful for
but
this
I
week.
think
Jerry
it was
Jones-
a hyperextension with a bone bruise or something, which I think he kind of dealt with
You know what
last
does
year.
benefit
right?
you though?
What's
Talking
that?
about trades, Kareem Hunt's name's been thrown around everywhere.
So
So if
that-
Kareem gets moved somewhere, that'll really
Yeah, I
benefit
just
Jake.
don't
I-
want him to
I've
get moved to
drafted
somewhere
him
else
with-
that does that.
But see, I drafted him with the idea that he was one of the biggest trade chips.
Yeah,
Kind
exactly.
of
He
in the-
asked for a trade
Yeah,
before the season.
well, he did, and he's got. The issue is that Nick Chubb's the best running back in football right now, pure running back. I don't mean at the position,
Not
but
fantasy
like in
running.
terms of
Yes.
downhill run. Well,
Oh, go jump
I don't want y'all to be like,
Don't y'all come up here with all your nonsense, all right? Hear me out. Hear me out.
so his carries have been dramatically decreased, and I think in about 29 other teams, he's the RB1.
Strong number,
I'd say about 20.
All right, 20, whatever.
Maybe 17.
I think
A lot. He would be the starter on a lot.
Majority of the
with
league.
a lot of
Majority of the
opportunity,
league.
with a lot of opportunities, because he's a guy who can catch the ball, runs good routes, and he runs downhill well.
Send him to
So
Arizona. Get James Conner out of there.
maybe I don't know if Arizona's in a full buy mood right now. Who do you think does buy? Well, I wish we had done a segment on these like possible trade pieces where we think they might
We're
go.
basically doing that now.
Yes.
That's
I know, I
pretty much
guess.
been the whole review.
Yes.
You know, the Eagles were a candidate at the beginning of the year because I like their offensive line, but I think Miles Sanders has looked good, so
Yeah,
that's kind of
Miles
decreased.
Saving Bridges Road.
Maybe the Rams, but
And that-
the Rams haven't looked very good up front, and
No.
Stafford sucks. So I don't know if that's the team that like I'd be like, yeah, he went there.
Yeah.
The team
Who
would have
could it be?
been the Jets.
Kansas City.
Benny would really benefit from
Yeah,
that.
Kansas City's another team that I even kind of look at.
Maybe, but I think you just got too many. Yeah, I mean,
think
Kansas
Kansas
City
City
was
could,
very
but
productive.
They don't
Kansas,
really need
yeah.
a running back though. The way their offense is.
Their offense is going to be best when they're throwing the ball around.
Yeah, but that's what he's very good
Yeah, he's
at.
good out of the backfield.
So it kind of gives that check down option as well.
Buffalo's
See,
another one.
Buffalo,
Buffalo's
maybe.
intriguing, but they never really run the running back. I know that sounds weird, like
Because they don't
Josh
have a running back
Allen.
to run.
Josh
So
Allen
again,
run
they're
the
going to be
ball.
best when they're
Yeah, it's the same
with
situation
Josh
with
Allen
Kansas
with the
City.
ball. I agree.
Same thing in Philly. I mean, even like Miles Sanders has played well, but that's not like a high value offense for a running back because Jalen Hurts is going to take something.
Yeah.
So
I don't really know where he fits. He's going to go to a contender because he's got a cheap contract, final year, and he wants the opportunity to be on a winning team that he can showcase his skills to get a contract. But I don't know where he fits. I just hope he gets traded because he clearly ain't getting the opportunity.
Fits
His value's not there right now where he's at.
I heard that. All right, so that takes Jake turd sandwiches 2, 3, and 4 in 7th, and it takes Bryan 2, 3, and 4 and in 6th place. All right, now for our Week 7 matchup of the week,
Yep.
we had Ryan versus Broach.
What a good one.
Yep.
We had the Fantasy Phenoms with an original projection of 113. We had formerly Lamar's chubby
Yeah.
at original projection 112.
Yes.
The final 97-94 in favor of the Fantasy Phenoms over, now named Lamar's Limpy.
Needs appeal.
50% of men, I hear.
Really?
I don't know. That's just
Does
what
that mean 2 of us are going to have to use it at one point?
That Tua probably does need it after that hit.
Hey.
Oh, hey, I agree with you.
All right. There were 2 players, or actually there
was a lot of them.
There were actually 12 players that were over 20 points.
23.
23.
Defense and special teams.
Come
Come on now.
All right, Tennessee led Broach with 22. Whenever you defense you lead in score, it's probably not a good sign.
That's not how
Probably not a good sign. 22 from Tennessee's defense. Solid week. But after that, Nick Chubb 17.
Running backs were fine. Everybody else was
Jonathan
over.
Taylor 12. Everybody else under. Well, I guess Lamar Jackson with 10. But everybody else under 6.
That's not great.
No, not great at all. Broach's problem has been his receivers.
Yes.
He had A.J. Brown, on bye, so he's losing his top option, and his other options
Johnson hasn't played in forever.
No.
He hadn't played in forever.
And Pierce is a rookie. Bateman's a second-year guy, and I think Nico Collins is a rookie.
Yeah.
Is Nico Collins a rookie? That's a second-year guy.
It might
too.
be.
But none of those guys.
Either way.
Talk about a guy getting rushed back from injury and it
Go ahead.
kind of bit him in the butt. Bateman. So Bateman comes back and gets re-injured. Well, I guess that was the Thursday night game, wasn't it? So,
Yeah, it's Thursday.
yeah.
Yes.
Kind of sucks because at the beginning of the year he looked very good.
Let's talk about something real quick.
Talk about it.
Talk about it.
What's going on with this goatee? Is that like a thing you're going to keep around for a little bit, or you're just fucking around for the weekend? I like it. I'm not saying it don't.
I'll just shave this afternoon.
No, don't shave it. Don't shave it. Don't you think he needs to go with a mustache for a little bit? Just give it a try for a week.
I think he's there.
A teacher with a mustache is a little bit of a red flag. We try to
That whole thing right there is a red flag.
What the
I think that's a nice guy right
No, I like the goatee. I do. I think you need to let Bush out. Ooh.
Let's go back to fantasy football.
We were
for a
talking about
second.
the 04 election, all right?
Let's go back to fantasy football.
So talk about a guy benefiting from injuries. Like we talked about, a couple of us kind of really getting hit by the injury bug, but Ryan's biggest contributor this week,
Ken Walker.
result of Penny being hurt and kind of stepping up and taking that role. So
Ken Walker's looked really good. 28.7. That coming off 2 straight games of 14 and 18. He's trending up real quick.
He's only been the starter for those last 2. That 14 happened after Penny got hurt, and then the last 2 he's been the starters, 18 and 28. So,
He's
yeah.
been looking good. Ken Walker 3.
Yes.
He's been looking really good. Joe Mixon was 16.6. Again,
Yet
solid.
again, less involvement, but more efficient. Touches.
Much more efficient. Much more efficient.
But with Jamar Chase being going down, that could change. He could go back to getting a lot more carries.
Yep.
The one I was talking about earlier, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay.
I'm on my
First catch of the game, one catch, 4 yards, gets hit. They took him out of the game. He went through concussion protocol, passed it, doesn't have a concussion, but they said he had a Paxi or whatever that thing is, where he was kind of stumbling around. So they pulled him out of the game.
Yeah, ever since the Tua injury, anything resembling a concussion,
Right.
done.
So they said he didn't have a concussion, but yet he showed concussion system. So they said they pulled him out, and he had 1 catch, 4 yards.
Anything involving close to a concussion at
Right.
this point, you're
Yeah.
being handled with kid gloves.
Yep.
You have no say-so anymore.
Right. Which,
Hey, you just don't.
yeah, I mean, we kind of called that early. Like, they're going to, because that happened on prime time, they're going to go
It
over
used
the
to be
top.
they would check you, put you through the test. If you pass, you're going back in.
Yep.
Now,
How many fingers am I holding up? 5. Thumb's not a finger.
Ha! Gotcha. Make it a true or false question. I'm holding up some fingers. That's varsity blues. These guys holding up some fingers. True or false? True. All right, it's good.
Geno Smith, 17, under his projection, but still outscored Lamar, so you got to
Yeah.
take that.
I got carried in a game by both of my Seahawks players, pretty much. Everybody else was pretty bad.
Pretty much, those are your top 2 scores.
Yep.
A.J. Dillon talked about him a little bit earlier. 1.5. Ew.
Yeah, that was where I took Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of my starting lineup on Sunday morning because it came out that Isaiah Pacheco was going to become the starter in Kansas City. And then they ended up using Clyde Edwards-Helaire the same amount they'd been using him, and he scored, so he got 9.2.
Did you know that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is his boy?
oh yeah,
Everybody knew. Everybody knows. I got
Did
a
you
soft
know
spot.
that he tried to fight that for so long, now he embraces it?
Can't fight the
why don't we
film.
find that?
Because he plays for Kansas City.
It's like Andrew with Aaron Rodgers.
But Andrew is a Packers fan.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
We all know.
Andrew had Rodgers and Nelson. I only like one player on Kansas City, and that's
And
Pat
Lazard.
Mahomes.
Travis Kelce?
You don't like Kelsey?
No, can't stand Kelsey. I'm a Kittle guy as far as tight ends that don't play for my team.
That he traded for Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
And I traded away to get him. Yeah.
How did that work out for you?
Not good.
That's all I needed.
The two players that I've traded have probably put up 15 points for me in the 4 or 5 weeks I've had them.
What's going on with your boy Drake London?
They don't
you
throw the ball.
You talking about the other half of that trade that I made?
Yeah. I thought that segue.
Yeah, that's
They don't
nice.
throw the ball.
All right, listen to this. Targets per game. Week 1, 7. Week 2, 12. And then it's 6, 7, 7. The last 2 weeks, 4 targets and 1 target.
They don't throw the ball.
Mariota throws the ball
a
like
game,
15
tops.
times a game.
We need to talk to Herbert.
Yeah.
You think Atlanta would really benefit from throwing the ball more?
But they're not. Dude,
Well, the thing is, they're actually winning some games.
they're 3-4.
Aren't they first in the division?
Yeah,
it's-
because the division.
We're a game out of first place.
They said the winner of y'all's game this week will be in sole possession of first place in the NFC South.
Dude, that's a terrible.
Can you imagine having a top 5 pick
And
potentially, but then also potentially
What was our record?
making
Week
the playoffs?
8, 7, and 9.
Hosting a playoff game.
That's terrible. Oh,
Y'all-
that's terrible.
If y'all win this week, y'all would be hosting a playoff game.
There's a chance
Playoffs.
that it could come down to we're either going to have the first
Hosting
overall
playoff.
pick or win the division by a game.
Yes.
Game difference.
yes.
The division sucks.
Yeah.
It is terrible.
Really bad. All right. So that takes.
So that was a fun talk.
That takes Ryan of the Fantasy Phenoms 2-5-2 and in second place, and that takes Lamar's Limpy
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
to 2-5 and in 8th place.
I survived the week that I was dreading all season when Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs were both on bye.
You did survive it. Good job, Ryan.
Yeah, well.
Hooray, Ryan!
Hooray, Bill!
You heard it.
That's all red Fox.
I'll go to Sheep's right fucking now. Try to point.
Was that Foster's or Red Stripe? That you said
Red
there?
Stripe.
Red Stripe.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Alcohol.
Don't act like you don't know now.
All right, Ron, how we doing picks last week?
Picks last week. Let's check them out. All right. We had
You're excited about this, aren't you?
JT 5-0.
Coming for you, Roberts.
There it is. That was a good setup. Jake 4-1.
He's also coming for you, Roberts.
No longer in last place.
Brian, Michael, Ryan, all 3-2.
So that takes our season long to
Season long, Brian 26-9.
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
JT 23-12, only 3 games back.
Coming for you, Roberts.
Coming for you.
Michael 21-14. And Jake just made a lie because he is still in last place, tied with 20-15.
No longer
We're
in
still
sole
Who holds the
possession.
tiebreaker? Who holds the tiebreaker? Who holds the tiebreaker?
It's about who's got more people injured on the season.
Or
That's
it
what
just
it's
goes
about.
with fantasy record. I don't know. There is no tiebreaker.
Dick.
Right now you're all playing for second, so it don't matter.
Coming for you, Roberts.
I heard you.
He has closed the gap.
Or were you talking about the league with
Cumberland,
Jordan dominance?
Hmm?
All right.
Oh, yes, that too.
Yes, yeah, that gap. All right, bold predictions from last
there
week.
we go,
We
baby.
had a lot. Brian went 1 for 3.
Not bad.
No,
Technically, he
Hitting
went 1 for
333.
2 because the Baylor made 1 pick for
I
him.
could've gone
It's
with
okay.
it.
Hitting 500.
We ain't gonna talk about that. All
Tried.
right, Brian said Kenneth Walker scores 17 plus fantasy points.
Boom.
At
Got it.
28.8.
Good call.
He said Brees Hall 20 plus fantasy points was on the way, but
Was on his way.
13.2.
Was on his way.
Jake went 0 for 6.
Oh, Joe.
Wasn't a good day.
Yeah. Jake said Jalen Waddle 130 and a touchdown.
Waddle,
Was
Waddle.
wrong. He had 88, no touchdown. He also said Dak Prescott 450 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Damn.
Well, you
Wrong.
were believing the hell out of him.
207 and 1.
He's so.
You said Tua and Herbert will both throw 3 touchdowns. They threw 3 combined. Tua had 1. Herbert had 2.
The way you word that, though,
Yeah.
could be right.
Yeah, he said both throw. Not,
They both did throw, and we got 3 touchdowns.
so it should have been 6 total. Yeah, well, it's work. It's phrasing.
Give him a win,
Phrasing. That's wrong. Tony Pollard scores a
I'll try
touchdown.
mine.
He did not.
Damn.
He also had Lamar Jackson 100 plus rushing yards. It's wrong. He only had 59. And then you said A.J. Dillon scores a touchdown. I think he only had 4 carries.
Just kicking a man while he's down.
Thanks.
I'll get to my 0 for 6 here in a second. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, at least you're
All right.
winning.
Feeling
JT,
good last
whole
week.
lot better. 1 for 12.
Boom.
1 for 12.
Good Lord, he
Got
took a
one.
bunch of shots. Deion Waiters, J.R. Smith type numbers right there. But he's going to
Shooter's going to shoot, man.
You got to shoot yourself out of this lump. Josh Jacobs, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Got that one.
Had 143 and 3 TDs, tutties. Deontay Johnson, 20-plus fantasy points. He only had 7.
Yes.
CMC, 22-plus fantasy points.
Wrong.
Yes.
Wrong had 7.2. Damian Pierce, 26-plus fantasy points. He had 13.7.
Shooter's going to shoot.
Yeah, Justin Herbert, 3 touchdowns. That was what built to Jake saying Tua and Herbert with that 3. Herbert only
Shooter's
took
going to
2.
shoot.
JT also said Bryan's 2 running backs and flex would score 65-plus.
Oh, it's
That's
your
pulling
fault.
for you.
They scored
I appreciate
37.8. He said New England's D would score 20-plus. They gave up 33 points to Chicago. So they only scored 8.
I would have
Who
bought
would've
in on
thought?
that one. I would have bought in on
JT
that.
also had the Lamar Jackson 100-plus rushing yards. That was wrong.
I went with you.
You said
You made fun of
Clyde Edwards-Helaire would have 75-plus total yards and a touchdown. He had 32 and a touchdown. Half right, all wrong. You said Joe Mixon had the best game of the season,
He was close.
which would have been 18-plus fantasy points. He had
It's
16.6. So that's
Good.
close.
He's good there.
And you also said T.J. Hawkinson would score a touchdown. Not. Thank you. And you said Latavius Murray would out-carry Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon had 11. Latavius Murray had 8. But Murray did get the touchdown.
You were dancing there at the end.
Murray did
Yeah.
get the touchdown, so we would have done fantasy points.
I know. I should have done fantasy points now that I think about it.
Here's a rough one.
How's that?
Michael, 0 for 1. Every position player for Tyler will outscore Andrews. Let's pull up that matchup and see how many he actually did. I didn't type that one out because that's a long.
Quarterback
First
wrong.
one, Murray's already outscored. He was right with CD, wrong with Smith-Schuster, wrong with Lazard, right with Jones, right with ETN, wrong with Hill, right with Pierce, wrong with Dallas.
It's about half, like 4 to 5 or 5.
Half right, all wrong.
He owes Andrew an apology when he comes back next week.
Well, it wasn't half right because every single one of them had to be.
All wrong.
All wrong. All right, and then Ryan, 0 for 6. He said Brandon Cooks, 100 and a touchdown, 46 and no touchdown. Damian Pierce, 25 plus. That was what the 26 plus that JT made on Damian Pierce. He tried to one up me. We were both wrong. That's a lot of predictions for the Texans, by the way. I said Chris Godwin scores his first touchdown. I'm going to stop making that one. I'm not going to Kyle Pitts this with Chris Godwin. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it all
He'll
year.
get a touchdown this week now.
He will. I know. That's what
Put Bryan down.
Pitts. No touchdown. I said Herbert Williams stacked for Bryan would score 45 plus. They scored 39.7.
That's close.
And I said Derek Carr, 280 and 3. He had 241 and 1.
Yeah, Derek Carr.
And then I said Tyreek Hill would outscore all of Michael's wide receivers combined.
It wasn't that far
Yeah.
off, but he only said as low as
It was.
output.
Tyreek Hill, 10.7, and Michael's 3 combined, 32.3.
Had 32.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's
a
right.
bunch of his
Never
guys
mind. Never mind.
scored
You're
touchdowns.
right. Yeah. I was thinking back to Broach. That's who I'm playing this week. All right. Yeah.
So, yeah, that one. We got.
He had 32.
We're making bold
I
predictions.
forgot.
We're not very good at it.
Hey,
need to be
we both got one.
Yeah, we did.
We both went over 6.
There we go.
Michael could try.
Good try.
All right.
Now onto the waiver wire.
Waiver wire, wrap up.
Wrap up that
I
waiver
got
wire.
5 on it. Bryan had a really good pickup with Tyler Boyd.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
No, Bryan. Okay. You haven't made a Diddy joke in a while. It makes me mad.
I was trying to.
$13 for Tyler Boyd, who now operates as.
Why
Is he the first option, second option? He's looked better than T. Higgins over the past 2 weeks. So
If I had known that before that Jamar was going to be out, I would have definitely been on that bit.
When I picked him up, I didn't know tomorrow was
Yeah.
going to be
Hey,
out.
Yeah.
he just had 2 big weeks. I didn't want 2 guys, same receiving core.
What recommendation did you make to Broach?
pick up Tyler Boyd.
What was that, 2 weeks ago? Or
His
this-
last
this
week.
week?
I
Yeah.
had Tyler Boyd for 2 weeks and then dropped him. Shouldn't have. Then I told Broach, I was like, man, you need to pick Tyler Boyd up.
Yeah.
And he regretted it.
Yeah, I think you said it on the podcast. I think
did.
you put it in the group message.
He
yeah.
did. Then Bryan picks up Tyler Boyd again. Why I think your team is trending up. Your receivers are getting better,
we'll
man.
see.
They're getting
We'll
better.
see.
Your
They're getting
receiving
better,
core-
but you did replace a couple ones that are getting healthy with ones that just got hurt. So if you can get those guys to be healthy,
Yeah, I think you got a lot of like number 2 options.
Number 2.
Like wide receiver 2.
show that turd whose balls.
That is good. I think you got a lot of them. Jake picked up Marquise Goodwin, who scored 2 touchdowns, kind of out of nowhere after the DK Metcalf injury
Not
for
out of nowhere.
$11.
So-
I think it's going to benefit.
Saw him get hurt, and Lockett's been dealing with a hamstring issue. I always get worried about those if he tweaks it and goes out.
And he's a
then-
speed guy too.
Yeah. So, but they keep throwing the ball. I
And
mean,
he-
like that offense has been pretty balanced. So, might as well.
Gino's really.
Not bad.
He's doing
This
okay.
is the guy the Jets thought they were getting
Years
out of West
ago.
Virginia.
Yes.
Guy
I guess
that's
Pete
confident
Carroll's
in
is
the
really
pocket.
good with quarterbacks and getting them to play to their top.
Maybe. I mean, I wasn't a believer in Geno
Potential.
Smith, but
Can he coach
he's
the
not
Panthers?
doing bad.
I mean, I know he's in his 70s, but can he coach the Panthers?
Who?
Pete Carroll.
Greg Dolchich.
Yes.
Dolchich. $3 to Mr. Broach.
I wanted him. I only put in 2.
Ah.
Gerald Everett on buy.
Drats! Scorp picked up Daniel Jones for $1.
A $1.
Okay.
Bryan picked up Jimmy G, Mr. Garoppolo for $5.
$5.
Starting?
Have to.
Have to.
Have to.
And Tyler picks up Geno Smith for $3 after Ryan drops him.
Yes.
So, a couple replacements for bye weeks with the quarterback situation. And, again, a couple could be really good
Couple
pickups with receivers. And maybe a tight end.
We will see.
We will see. We also had a trade this past week.
Trade?
Yeah, trade review.
Is this the most trades we've had in a year?
There's been quite a few.
I don't know. Last year at our trade deadline, we had a flurry of them.
Speaking of which, when is our trade deadline?
I don't know. Good question.
Mish?
Looking it up. Trade deadline November the 19th.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Ryan.
You got it, bud.
I think I was supposed to know that.
You are.
No, I don't. So, trade review. We had Michael Carter get dealt.
Young Carter.
He is going to Tyler.
No.
No, he's
No,
going to
Carter's
Jake. My bad. I
going to
wrote that
Jake.
down and then I didn't read what I wrote down.
okay.
Michael Carter goes to Jake. Tyler Lockett goes to Tyler.
Right.
So
Collusion.
he said it. He said it.
Yep.
So Brees Hall, you traded for Michael Carter to replace Brees Hall.
Yep.
Mhm.
Before
For the James
Traded,
Robinson
yeah.
news.
I literally did that, and then that night it
Right.
broke that James Robinson. But I still like Michael Carter's potential because pass catching, knows the offense. There were some weeks that he was still being productive with Brees Hall kind of emerging, but Brees Hall really took
Brees
a hold
Hall's
of that.
a stud.
Yeah,
James's
they realized he
knees-
was so much better. Than
James's
Michael.
knees,
Well, I don't.
you know?
The
There's
one thing that made
potential
me feel
for injuries
good about
there.
it was that the head coach came out and was just like, "Yeah, I don't see
He
James
said it's going to be the
playing
hot
this week."
hand, and James Robinson might not even play this week,
Yeah.
possibly next week.
Yeah, so
And Tyler Lockett just added a rib injury to his hamstring injury.
Look at all that food going on over there.
Yum, yum,
Ham
yum.
and ribs.
I also thought at the time that was before Jamar's injury
Makes me
was
want to go
announced.
Langston.
That I thought I had a
We can-
surplus of
speak-
receivers to
Why
trade.
you make that trick?
You're getting hit by the injury bug.
Charleston?
Yep.
You're
If
getting
I,
hit by the
if I
injury
take
bug.
next Saturday off, we'll go to Lexington after. Or I'll go early and pick us up some stuff. Come
On
on.
the high.
Take Tyler.
Wait a
Lexington.
Yep.
Lexington. It's Lexington.
Think Tyler felt good about his running game, especially that ETN had kind of taken possession of that backfield, especially considering James Robinson then got traded away from there. Really kind of shores up.
Damian Pierce did the same thing.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think he felt really good about those two running backs and Aaron Jones. So he had three good running backs. He, I guess, wanted some help at the flex / wide receiver 3. I guess Godwin's kind of like his question mark. Wouldn't you
He
say?
wasn't going to use Michael Carter, and he's got a chance to use Tyler
Yes.
Lockett every week.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure, it does make sense.
Does make sense.
So James Robinson news did hurt you a little bit, but there's
I didn't have a choice.
possibility could work out
I
for you.
li-
Not in the short term, at least.
Yeah, no, I couldn't even fill a backfield at one
Yeah.
point, so I had to make
You gotta do
sense.
what you gotta do.
That's fair. That's fair.
What they
fair,
say.
fair.
So that is our Week 7 recap. Now on to Week 8. Week 8!
It's okay. That was sleepy.
Our Week 8 first matchup of the week is JT versus Broach
JT versus Broach is right here. Found it.
with the Battle of the Josh. Indeed. All right, so in Week 8 with our first matchup, we have the Cult of Personality. Live projection of 131. We have Lamar's Limpy with a live projection of 105. Both teams had players go on Thursday Night Football. Jay Broach, Lamar's Limpy, led by Lamar
Yes.
with 25. Little bounce back game.
Bounce back.
But he also lost Rashad Bateman very early
Yes.
with a big old goose egg.
Nothing burger.
Yeah.
Big
Lamar,
old goose egg.
Lamar lost his top 2 pass catchers and still had a pretty good game.
And then Cult of Personality with an 8 from Baltimore's defense. So,
Nah, not great.
not great.
Not bad.
Yeah, that did.
Who did Toots?
Is it her or JT?
Yes.
It's
Sunglasses
an
going
awful
on.
little pootie for JT.
All right,
Nice little
Mavericks.
booty from JT booty.
All right, Maverick. What do you see in there?
In this matchup,
Talk to me, Goose.
this will be a blowout of a matchup. JT's
In
got
which favor?
he's got good matchups this week. Kyle Pitts will get his second touchdown on the year.
Put it down.
Is that a Baldy?
It is Baldy. Pollard for 20.
Bryan always talking about
Yeah,
Kyle Pitts.
Pollard's about to go off.
I think Cooper.
I want to back up his
I don't
20
think
pointer.
Cooper makes his 18 projection this week though.
Cooper Cup?
Mm-hmm.
Don't think so?
It's hard to bet against that guy.
It is.
Coming off a bye, too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Kyle Shanahan's 7-0 in his last 7 games against McVay.
Ooh, good stat.
Yeah.
Stat man.
He's a stat man.
I think Barkley has a big week. Seattle's been giving up points. It's kind of been more of a. I
Who
know
has
I'm going
more
to jinx
between-
this because every week we say high scoring games. They
Yeah, I don't
never
think the
end up being
Giants-
high.
Between,
Yeah,
between Taylor and
Yeah.
Barkley, who has more points this week?
Taylor
Mm-hmm.
and Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Which
gonna,
Taylor?
I'm gonna go
Jonathan Taylor against
Jonathan.
Washington.
I'm gonna go Taylor just because they're starting.
A new quarter.
Starting a new quarterback is a more of a runner.
Yeah,
more
hook 'em
runner.
horns, man. He got Matthew McConaughey's stamp of approval.
Of
He's
course
good to
he
go.
did.
Can
You
y'all
get that.
believe that's his projection on the week?
13.
Or Barkley's.
Number 1 overall pick, and it's 13.4 at bet
Yeah.
or 13.6 is his.
I mean, he hasn't had a great year.
He's had,
Came
he's
out
had
the gates
one
hot.
really good game.
Yeah.
And he's
week
only
one.
had 2 double-digit games since week 1.
Missed 2 weeks with
He
injury.
did.
yeah,
And then the game he exited, week 4 against Tennessee.
and
But
then
he put up 6.8 against
Yeah, but the
Jacksonville.
week he left against Tennessee, he had 20 carries.
Did he really?
Yeah, that was when we left late in the game because we talked about it. He only had 42
That's
yards.
right.
We
Yeah,
thought, but
that's
he had
right.
20
That's right.
carries.
Yeah. So I don't know if
I'm
Jonathan
gonna take
Taylor.
Barkley.
If we were drafting right now, would Jonathan Taylor still be first round?
no. Oh, first
I'd
round.
probably take him around maybe 9 or 10.
He'd be back into the first, early second.
You would 9 or 10.
Round 9 or 10?
You said
Or
no,
around-
round.
around
Should we
9 or 10.
redrafted?
Yeah,
You know,
if we
we talk
redraft.
about this every year. We should
we do.
redraft.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of podcasts
Not
do.
really.
I
do
talked
it,
about
but
it a
we
couple
should.
weeks ago that we should do it at the halfway point. So that would be next week or this week. But we'll do it next week. Stay
That's
tuned.
gonna
I say we
that's
do
gonna be a long
mid-year
podcast.
awards next week because
We can do that.
we can do all that next week. But this week,
But this week, though.
I like the usage Brandon Ayuk has had within that offense,
yeah, past couple weeks.
especially with
Debo's
Debo
out this
out,
week, too.
yeah.
He's got 11 targets past 2 games. Debo's out this week, so he's got to be the number 1 option receiving.
Possibly
he has a
have
lot of
Ramsey
his
on, that hasn't made a
physical
huge
traits similar. Like he's very physical when he has the ball in his hand. He
He's
doesn't.
fast, too.
He found himself the doghouse to begin the year every year.
Yeah, Kyle Shanahan hated him.
Do you think
for a
he
while.
comes in like out of shape or
I
something?
don't know,
like-
but this is 2 years in a row where he starts off slow and he's not on the field for a whole lot of snaps.
Then they
and then-
realize he's really good
I guess because
or can make a lot of.
I
big
guess
plays.
it's 3 years in a row. Because his
Yeah.
rookie year they didn't really use him a whole lot until the second half of the season. Then
Right.
he was their again number 1 receiving option even with Debo. And then last year Debo explodes, boom boom bada bing.
Don't like the Harris.
Bada bing,
matchup.
bada boom. Realest
JT,
guys
you're
in
on
the
a
room.
3-game losing streak.
I am.
Who's on 3-game losing streak?
JT,
Me, I'm 3-game losing. I started off 4-0, now I'm 4-3. Boom.
I think I might start.
breaking that streak this week.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder who Bryan's going to pick.
Me.
Roach.
Got him.
I
Not
don't
Harris.
think anything was going to be.
I don't like Harris's matchup at all. Philly's defense has been pretty good against the run this year.
I just don't like Harris.
Well,
You said that from the beginning.
He's touchdown dependent anyways
Yeah,
at this point.
Just
and
got Robert Quinn as well, their defense.
what a great
pick.
trade for them
What a
Oh, yeah.
pickup.
because they traded a
It was
Fourth?
it was a late pick.
4th or 6th, something like
Yeah.
that, for a guy who led the league in sacks last
Yeah.
year and is.
I think it was a
incredible.
day 3 pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that any day of the week.
The weird thing was the contract. That they both come to an agreement that this is going to be the final year of his contract. That he'll void the final year or two. I saw that
I
come
don't
across
know
the
about
other
that,
day.
but all right. I like it.
Give me Alec Pierce, leading receiver for Indy this week.
I thought you were gonna
New
say. I
quarterback.
thought you were gonna say Ford Broach. I was about to say
Nah.
AJ Brown's on there.
Alec Pierce, leading receiver for the Colts.
And yards or fantasy points?
Ooh.
Fantasy points.
All right.
I think it's fair.
Yeah, fantasy points. That's my bold prediction from this matchup.
All right.
All right. Well, with that being said, Brian, who you taking?
JT.
All right. Brian took JT.
Jake, who you taking?
JT.
Ron, who you taking?
JT.
Michael, who you taking?
JT.
Yes. Thank you, Michael. And JT, who you taking?
I'll take myself in this matchup as well.
Taking himself.
Feeling good.
You played yourself.
Feeling good.
Yeah,
I've been saying that all year.
that is crazy. So he did agree to cut off the final 2 years of his contract. That
That's
was
fair.
$14 million and $13 million over the next 2 years.
How old's Quinn?
29, 30 maybe?
Oh.
Because he was at the St. Louis Rams for a while.
St. Louis.
He was at Carolina.
He's
a while.
32.
32. Okay, he was at Carolina a lot longer
Yeah,
than I
that
thought he
makes
was.
that makes sense. Cut that trap. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yes.
I guess, but I mean,
He's a stud pass rusher.
Yeah.
Maybe
He is.
they want to re-sign him for a cheaper deal and stay in Philly. I don't know.
it feels weird
That's
that
not
you
our
do
job.
that right
Not
after
our
the trade
job.
happens. You ain't even played a game for him yet.
Right.
Who we got next?
Sorry.
Second matchup, we have Jake versus Michael.
Ooh. Did you write down the?
It was one. I got it.
Write down what?
The
140.
point total.
Line up.
for Michael.
114.
Point total projection.
Yeah.
Y'all did earlier. The calculation.
So we have Turd Sandwiches, original projection at 103. And we have the league versus me with an original projection of Settle. But when he sets his lineup,
More than settle.
we're thinking around 114.
Yep.
114.
114.
G14 classified.
All right, Jake. Very different lineup than you had last week. Very
Boy,
different
Drake's
lineup.
a headache.
Who?
Drake.
Kenyon or London?
Kenyon.
Okay.
Well, Gus got hurt.
Yeah.
Last week when I started him, he had like 11 carries for 8 yards or 5 yards.
It was five.
something.
Yeah,
It was
11
I think
for
it was,
five.
It was
I
11
think that
for
was
5.
Yeah.
And then, again, that was with Gus Edwards coming back.
Yep.
Now Gus Edwards is not back.
Gus
Right.
Edwards pulled up. They said with a hamstring injury in the fourth quarter, but they don't know how
shouldn't have put that in the
they don't
car
know how
with you.
severe it is.
Drake
Yes.
rushed 7 times for 62 yards and 4
He
receptions.
called a touchdown on the short
He
one.
did. 4 receptions for 5 yards and a touchdown.
Your boy is for certain going to play there, Adams.
Yeah, he's got the flu.
He had a bad flu.
Got flu. Got flu.
They said he was feeling better and trending towards.
All right, yeah. Let's
Got to watch that dehydration.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Mhm.
dealing with bad flu, but
Do
expect
you have anyone else you would like me to plug in and play there?
No. We're not talking shit about it. We're just saying.
Yeah, you really ain't got a whole lot of options.
Yeah, and the Saints don't have Marshall Lattimore, so he doesn't have that lockdown corner that we'd be going against. So there's that.
Miami is going to beat that 9.6 projection against Detroit.
Who is?
Miami.
Well, you got a ballpark number in mind?
And not a whole lot. I'd say maybe 12, 13.
Okay.
Beat it by 12 or 13 or score 12 or 13?
Score 12 or 13.
Oh, because I'd say they're beating it by 12 or 13. That's a good week.
The only hope that I have,
Score more points.
well, that
That'll work.
is we talked about trying to drive up trade value. Is that maybe Cleveland gives Hunt a little bit more opportunity if they're trying to get him dealt. But then you run the risk of hurting him and then not being able to trade him.
That's true.
Well, who's
So-
more of a passing back?
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt.
And they also lost David Njoku as a tight end, so that short passes could go to Hunt.
Uh-huh.
There's some
And they're playing
possibilities.
Cincinnati. If Cincinnati does what they did last week,
Put up a
there's
lot
going
of
to be a
points.
lot of passes thrown. So I think Hunt could see a little more time.
And they said Damian Harris, they've gotten calls, New England's gotten calls about Damian Harris getting traded, so he could get some carries against the Jets.
Yeah.
He'll trade it for a 7th round draft pick. He'll end up being all pro in 2 years.
Yes. The 7th round pick or Damian Harris?
7th round pick.
Okay, yeah, that usually happens.
And as soon as he makes all pro, he'll trade him away for another 7th round pick.
And he'll fall off a cliff. That's the
Golly,
Belichick way, man. It makes no sense.
No.
Belichick don't like you, you ain't gonna be good unless you're Chandler Jones. But he came crawling back.
See, I felt like he likes Damian. Like
Yeah,
he was
but-
giving him opportunity when I thought Stevenson was
Dinner
clearly
every once in a
the
while.
better back.
Yeah.
Bites him over for the holidays.
Maybe a ham every once in a while.
Yeah, but the jury's still out on Damian Harris. You know, that
Yeah.
was his first game back. Game script did not benefit him whatsoever.
No, sure, that was.
'Cause they're
They
down
didn't expect
Chicago.
to be down by that much. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But on Trigg's side, what did we think?
Kamara's got a
great
matchup.
matchup.
Yeah, Kamara's got a very good matchup.
Stevenson's probably still going to get the majority of them.
Big thing, Swift's coming back. Swift was a full participant in practice. He's supposed to be.
He don't even
playing
have a
against Miami.
tag.
Yeah.
Give me Swift for
A 3rd round pick.
Sorry.
Good.
Give me Swift for 2 touchdowns.
I really don't know who Michael's going to start in the 3 running back eligible positions. Because he's got Swift clearly going to play. I think Kamara's clearly going to play. And you got Stevenson, or with James Conner being announced out, Benjamin.
I think I'd still go Stevenson.
Yeah, I think he's
The Jets defense is better, but that is a debate.
Benjamin did have a really good game last week with 92 yards touchdown.
Yep.
All right, I'm going bold.
Bold!
It's not going to be right. Going George Pickens scores twice.
Ooh.
That's very
Against
bold.
a very good Philly.
Yep. It's happening. I'm making it happen. I can't spell Pickens, but it's happening.
You know what? I'm going to go another.
Oh, you're going to steal my 2 touchdown thing?
Nope. I'm going to go Jacoby Myers scores back-to-back weeks.
I've already done that.
And it didn't
And
work.
it didn't work.
I'm going Jacoby Myers score. He scored last week on 2 receptions for 34 yards. He scores again this week.
Mm-hmm.
I also sent a trade to Michael for Jacoby Myers. But the jury's still out.
So he hadn't accepted it or he denied it?
He hadn't accepted it or denied it. It's still pending. Or not pending, but it's still out there.
It's still on the table.
Dalton Schultz puts up his highest score of the year.
Which isn't much, right? He hasn't done much.
Nah, he'll be, I'll say Dalton Schultz, 12.
All right, because he's at 9.7 week 1, then 0.8 week 2, zeros all the way through until last week 7.4. That makes sense. Dak Prescott does like him. So you said Schultz 12 plus?
Yeah.
All righty.
And they're without Ezekiel Elliott.
Yep.
And Michael Gallup.
Who knows?
Yeah. So I can see that. I can see that.
I could say, Roberts, you're on something. I wanted to send a trade for Dalton Schultz, but I didn't do it because Gerald Everett's been surprisingly good.
Mm-hmm.
But Dalton Schultz has a chance to be that top 4 or 5 tight end that he was.
I think he'll have a
as.
better second half of the season.
Jake, I'm going to give you one.
Don't know
Michael Carter, his best game of the season. Fantasy outlaws. Fantasy output.
What is his best so far?
16.3.
Yeah. So I'm saying Michael Carter over 16.3.
Thanks for the.
So 16.
0.4 plus. Michael Carter 16.4 plus.
All right. I like it.
I'm shooting again, boys.
Shooting shots. So we've got 2 bold for Bryan, 4 for JT, 1 for me. Michael hadn't made any. Neither has Jake. I probably need to stop making bold ones because I don't think I've gotten one right in about 3 weeks.
Give me another one.
All right.
Is this Christian Kirkland?
No, this is Tua.
Kirk is not going to have a good week.
Give me Tua for
I think Tua does have a good week.
275, 3 touchdowns. Plus.
275 and 3.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Tua goes for his 2nd highest output this season.
That's what it would be. That's what it would be.
I think he
You don't think
touches
he's going to top
the.
that 55?
That 55 is going to be tough to beat. 6 touchdowns.
I think he eclipses the 30 fantasy point mark.
Okay.
Ooh.
I like it.
Bodes well for Tyreek.
It does bode well for Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, and
Waddle.
they score some touchdowns. They get up, and Raheem Mostert.
I do want to
Look
ask
at all
you,
of us giving
Yeah, we're all getting in this Miami.
JT,
train.
you in particular, I want to ask this too because
Ask
I
me.
picked him up as
Oh,
soon as I saw the
alright.
trade happen.
Uh-huh.
Fine.
He's on bye this week. He gets basically
Kadarius freaking Tony.
2 weeks to get up with Kansas City, and they were pretty big on him because they gave up a 3rd rounder for him.
Yeah.
3rd and a
3rd and
6th or something.
6, yeah.
Yeah, like that was for
I
a
mean,
guy
he
who
was-
wasn't playing. That's
Yeah,
pretty.
that's big.
And
He was pretty good last year when he was healthy. For the
Yeah,
so
dude.
apparently
On a
he
team
went
that
into
sucked.
the meeting, and the meeting did not go well with the Giants, and they immediately traded him afterwards. And then they said the hamstring issue
Yeah.
wasn't it. Like
Air
apparently
quotes.
Tony
Wasn't
just
really an
hated the coaching staff and the ownership and did not want to be there.
This coaching staff did not draft him.
Yeah.
They drafted Wan'Dale Robinson, and basically Kadarius Toney, I think, had fallen out of favor with that team. So
What do you
first
see
start for
his
Breeze Brothers.
output capabilities in Kansas City?
All right, hold on a second.
You
Let's,
think
let's
he's
go
gonna be
back
a
to
guy-
season-long bold predictions
All
for
right,
JT.
'cause
Let's see
I'm
what
big
he
on
said.
Kadarius Tony.
JT said
I'm gonna send you a trade for him.
Kadarius Toney's a top 15 wide receiver. Possible, He's
I
gonna
think
have
it's
to go off.
unlikely.
He's gonna have to have a really good team.
The only thing that I worry about with Kansas City is that they really have spread the ball around.
Yeah.
They have.
Sure.
You know, it's not like one guy like
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
what McCole Hardman has 3 freaking touchdowns last month.
So that's the one thing that does give me a little bit of hope with him is that how much they've used Hardman. MVS has been inconsistent. Like he's kind of a combination of them. Like I think he could be one that quickly close to what Tyreek did, but have a similar role within the offense.
He's quick, he's fast, he's good with the ball in his hands. He reminds
You're a guy you won't.
Again,
Went
he
to
reminds
college
me
with Kyle Pitts.
at Alabama.
Florida.
Snap.
But when he got drafted by the Giants, they're saying this guy has
Here's a guy.
Tyreek Hill type skill set.
He reminds me more of AB, man. He really does.
He's not a route. Doesn't have that route running.
Take
but
his jersey off the middle of it.
Yeah,
Get really
it's
aggressive with the girl in
insane,
the swimming pool.
But that was his comp.
Chucking the chicken.
coming out
Yeah,
of
I could
college
see.
was
I
he-
could see a Tyreek. Yeah,
That's what they
So
said. He's
that-
not there yet, but
That's what made me so excited about that trade. Is
Let me
that
see
I
your
knew
excited
who
face.
his
It's not very
comp
exciting.
was.
yeah.
I knew what he was capable of, even with Daniel Jones.
He is who we thought
Now
he
you
was.
put him in an offense that still wants to throw the ball a lot
Chandler.
and has, maybe the best arm talent.
Very high upside. With
Yeah.
that.
still want
So-
him. Still
I-
want him. What else?
in the trade.
I've been looking, dude. I've been looking a lot. Jake needs some running back help. I've got some running
I
backs.
just need help.
I'm here for you, buddy.
Thanks.
Call me down.
I think Jared Goff goes for 30 plus this week.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Golf
Michael will
with a
start.
bounce back. So do you start him over Cousins?
Yeah. I don't know who Cousins is playing. I might not.
Cousins is playing Arizona.
I don't know. I might start him. I don't know.
What to do?
I don't know. I just know that
With Swift,
Detroit's
Brown,
defense sucks.
St. Brown. excuse me.
Indeed.
And if Swift and St. Brown come back, they could get
You
off
like
the schneid.
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, so who we taking in this matchup?
Michael. For me.
Ryan takes Michael. Ugh. It's tough because I put a lot of bold predictions on both of these. I've got
Very
2
bad
on Jake.
matchup,
I got
boy.
2 on. I got 2 on.
No, 2 was on Jake's.
Swift 2.
All right, JT didn't know how to think. All right, Brian, who you got?
Give me Michael this week.
All right.
I have Michael as well.
You had Michael. Michael had Jake. And JT had.
Give me Jake.
All right.
Give me Jake.
He's trying to go counter to Brian and try to catch up in the standings. That's what it is.
Are you playing now?
He's coming for you,
We
Ryan.
see you. We see you.
I'm coming for you.
I did that trying to catch up with JT last year, doing the contrarian picks, and then mine just right off a cliff at the end of the year.
He did have a good pick here.
Well, my fantasy year wasn't very good.
No, it
so I had to
wasn't.
do something.
Yes.
Well, I'm in that boat this year.
Hey. All right, third matchup. We have Scorp versus Ryan.
I'm in that one.
So, Scorpion King with a live projection of 115. The Fantasy Phenoms with a live projection of 123. The live score is 15-2.
Yeah.
So both players had both teams had players go on Thursday night. Mike Evans 15.3 and Kate Otten.
K.
25.
He
It
called.
does look like that. doesn't it?
It does look like that.
He
Bold
called a touch.
strategy.
Yep. He called a touchdown. They called off for holding, so it didn't actually count as a reception,
Those
a target, or a
bastards.
touchdown. So that was painful.
Those bastards. They got me.
All right, thoughts?
I mean, you couldn't start Gerald Everett, so he got you more than he could.
He got me more than 0,
Yeah,
which
so,
is that's something.
You know what? Good start.
That's something. Man, maximize my lineup there.
You know who you should have went with?
Dawson Knox.
Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, if I'd known Mark Andrews was going to get hurt early, I would.
Likely story.
Didn't Andrew pick up Likely pretty early in the
Yes, he
offseason
did.
or before the season even started?
Yep.
He looked really good in the preseason.
Yep.
Andrew?
Yeah, him too.
He always
Him
looks
too.
good.
Him too.
But Isaiah
Flowing
Likely
hair, that
looked
man.
very good in the preseason.
You got hair like that, you're gonna look good.
That's better than
Indeed.
lethal.
Even without a chin.
Hey, don't pick on people without chins.
He has no chin. You've got a chin. You got a
Yeah.
little bit of a chin. You
I
got
got
more
two,
of a chin
I
than
got
he
2 or
does.
3. But yeah. Yeah. All right. Continue.
Hey, how's your boys going to do this week? I don't think Diggs
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Chargers. They're on bye, thank God. They should
Prime.
do very well.
Primetime
You
game
think
against
so?
Green Bay.
Yeah. I don't think. Actually, I think Diggs
At
might
home?
have. one of his worst. I think Allen's still going to be Allen, but I think it might be more of a Gabe Davis, Kareem, or Shakir, whatever that dude's name is.
Yeah.
I see this playing
them
out a
going over
lot
50
like
points.
the Baltimore game did.
I said 50, and then I was like,
Struggled early.
Baltimore was
Came
one where they were terrible in the first half
She's
and then just
got a
dominated the second half.
Right. Because
Yeah.
Green Bay's defense is a very underrated defense. They're very
They're
good.
projected
55.
Yeah, but they.
55 you talk.
I'm just
All
hitting
right,
each other.
double up 55.
What are we doing? 55. What are we doing?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Me and Jake both going double up. You're
Oh,
double
geez.
up. It
Same.
is. Allen and Diggs, 55
I
plus.
can't do a Hagar though.
Who?
A Sammy Hagar.
Oh, I thought you said Hurdle.
Me and Jake both going
Hold it
Allen,
up.
Diggs, 55 combined plus.
Is that bold though?
That's what I was.
I think they've done it 2 or 3 times already this year.
Chill.
I mean, I don't want
You just
to.
said Diggs
I'm
was
going to
having-
say Scorp's receivers combined for 60.
Dang.
60. So he had Mike Evans, T. Higgins, Adam Thielen.
So
You're saying 60?
Yep.
one's got to go for 25, one's got to go for 20.
Higgins will do that. Thielen could do that.
Okay.
That's pretty
So
bold.
60
you're gonna have to-
plus
You got to type faster.
Bryan.
Well, I had
I'm
to do
writing
the same
down
one for both of y'all because y'all can't make original thoughts. All right, you said how many?
What's your bold prediction then, Slick?
I hadn't made one yet.
Okay, well then.
All right, so you don't have thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm typey. Typey, no thinky. You said Scorp's receivers score 60 plus?
That's what he said. Me typey, no thinky.
I watched Tommy
Come
Moore this
here.
past week. I can't help it.
Hey, good night, everybody.
Tommy won't leave.
Good night, everyone.
Walks off the stage.
I got another one.
All right.
Ken Walker outscores Dalvin Cook.
Well, that's not bold.
Listen,
I
Giants
think
has got
that is
a
pretty
good-
bold.
I like it.
Well, yeah, of course you would.
Hey, y'all keep making them on my team. I ain't mad. Even though our bold predictions are not usually accurate.
Who did I say? Cook? Yeah. Walker over Cook.
Yeah.
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 All right,
See?
so for this matchup, I've got Scorp's wide receivers score 60 plus from Bryan. Jake and JT both said Allens and Diggs score 55 plus, and then JT said Kenneth Walker outscores Dalvin Cook. Is that right?
Yes.
Did I miss any?
Yeah, that's right.
You got that right.
I do. I think Kittle goes for 75 and a touchdown.
Ooh.
Missing Debo this week.
I think Joe Mixon goes for his season high, and I'll go ahead and get a number attached to it. 24 plus.
No.
All right.
That is. Okay, I see you.
Swing the defenses this week, boy.
I'm going bold.
See that.
I don't have much else to do near fantasy season other than go bold.
You said 24 plus, right, Jake?
Yes. I was going to go 23 plus, but that's not bold enough.
Daggone right, it's not.
Yeah, that's about all I got for this one.
Yeah, I mean,
Splurge my load.
That's about all I got for this one.
Whoa.
All right. We said we were going to talk about it when we got to this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Michael Pittman's going to look like for a run-first quarterback? Do you think
Yeah,
that
I'm not feeling
that
very-
offense is
Yeah.
going to turn into what Atlanta and the Jets have been doing, where they run the ball a ton?
Yeah.
I got another bold prediction.
And with Jonathan Taylor being
How
back
many
healthy, does that
They're going to
load
lean
up
heavy
the
on
box?
Taylor.
Does that load up the box and give Pittman downfield stuff that Matt Ryan wasn't doing? Because Matt Ryan wasn't getting out of the pocket, so everything had to be short and quick. Ellinger can actually get out of the pocket, so he might open some downfield stuff, but
Good.
the number of
Who would
targets
you
might
throw
be
it to
down.
if you were starting in Sam Ellinger's position? I'd
Hopefully your
force
own team, but yeah,
well,
Pittman would be.
I'd
the guy.
force feed Michael Pittman.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be Alec
I mean-
Pierce
I know. Made a
or
prediction
Paris
on it.
Campbell.
You think someone that he's practiced more with?
but I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. We just saw DJ Moore last week with
With a
PJ
more
Walker
run,
coming in.
yeah.
He got kind of force fed. I do think that they'll kind of load the box, which would give him favorable.
Sure, they haven't had
Matchups.
Taylor most of the
Sure.
year, so they've had like, hey, we're going to let Deion Jackson and
Yeah.
whoever else try to beat Philip Lindsay. So it could be good for Pittman. It also could be.
But I don't want to make a bold prediction.
No, no, I was
just
just
because
Nah,
he's-
it's too
he's
risky.
big,
We said
yeah.
we were going to talk about it when we got here, so we're talking about
Sorry,
it,
man.
and we're here.
Oh yeah. Scorp also wants me to announce that his team name should have a comma within it.
Scorpion
King?
King.
I guess.
I was
I
going to say,
said-
where would you put it?
I said.
I would
that's
say
dumb.
we put it in between the I and the P in Scorp.
Score.
Ion King.
Scorp Ion King.
No.
Because he didn't specify where.
He did not specify
We can't
where.
make assumptions like
There's
that kind of
supposed to be
stuff.
a comma.
That's what I was like. What? Why? So that's stupid. But he texted me, wanted me to clarify that for the pod.
He did again.
He just texted me.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Ask him where it's supposed to be.
Ask him if it's between the P and the I or the N and the G.
Okay. Where does the comma go?
Hey.
I like jokes.
It's between.
All right. So who we taking in this matchup?
I don't know. No. Just
Now with this comma.
Well, you're going to pick for me on this one.
Is it an Oxford comma? Do you put 2 in there?
What's an Oxford comma?
I don't know. I don't read the dictionary.
If you list 3 or more things, you put the comma before the and, or you just leave it without it. It's an Oxford comma. If you put it in.
Do you know that?
You're talking to me.
Come on.
All right, we're learning some stuff today, boys. Give me
Fuel!
fire, desire. Give me Ryan's.
Thank you. Alright. JT went with Ryan. Michael went with Ryan. Jake went with
Ryan.
Bryan.
I'm going to Scorp this week.
You dick.
You dick.
You're just trying to let us catch you.
And Ryan.
I'm going with Scorp.
And 3-2 split.
You always bet against yourself? Is that what we're doing?
I didn't at the beginning of the year and
Yeah.
it worked. And then
Yeah.
I kept doing that. It didn't work. And so I'm just going to go back to doing what I just pick against myself every time.
Bold strategy. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, well, my picks haven't been great.
Okay, so it's supposed to go in between the Scorpion and King.
So it's Scorpion. King.
So it's like you're referring to yourself as king.
I
He just needs to redo his team name to King of the Scorpions.
King of the Scorpions.
Or I am the walrus.
Goo goo choo.
There you
Well,
go.
Next
This
matchup.
guy gets it.
All right, fourth matchup we have Tyler versus Bryan.
Tyler versus Bryan.
Versus this guy.
Here I am.
All right, so we have Autonomy is American with a live projection of 124. We have Victim of the System with a live projection of 120. Both teams had players go on Thursday Night Football.
Who'd they have?
Both from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Who were they?
Chris Godwin for
Okay.
Tyler, 10.5. Leonard Fournette for Bryan, 13.3.
Lenny.
Lead, bro.
And
Is this the best offensive output the Tampa Bay's had all year? I mean, I know
22 points.
they still lost, but we already had
Delightful.
Mike Evans had a good game for
really
Scorp.
good matchup.
I'll tell you.
Godwin had
I
an
did have
average
one
game
matchup
for
this week.
Really good.
Tyler, and then Leo had basically an
He does.
average game for him.
No, don't.
I'll tell you. This is
Going for
their
30,
no.
He's
No,
going
they
for 30.
scored 31 against Kansas City in Week 4.
I'm not talking about their points. I'm talking about like spreading out their points across multiple people because it's basically been Leonard Fournette's carried this team on offense all year, and then Mike Evans has scored occasionally. But this week it felt like everybody was somewhat involved, even though they still lost.
Maybe.
No,
maybe.
just thoughts, because we all had
I didn't watch the game.
we all had high hopes
too
for Tampa
late,
Bay.
man. I was in
I
bed.
know.
I was watching the Bruins game. Yeah, I mean, same thing.
Hey,
Like,
boys are looking good.
they are very good. 7-1.
No, okay, stop. Okay.
I feel like
I'm
we
going
all-
to start this off with a really big bold prediction.
bold-
Oh,
Dak Prescott. Highest fantasy output on the season.
Is that really?
Which would
bold?
be?
He's only played 3 games.
Oh my
damn,
God.
Jake.
Dak
which would be
Prescott.
over 14.2.
Jake says Dak scores 55.
Can Chicago replicate what they did last week? Defense.
Not against Dallas.
No.
Not
Defensively.
against Dallas. Oh, okay. Hold on. Say that. So you're saying can Chicago
Can Chicago
defense
hold
okay.
Dallas to 14 or less?
Yeah.
No. Because I feel like their offense might turn it over and put them in bad field position.
I think so.
That's a bold
Because
prediction.
Dallas's defense might be top 3 in the league right
I
now.
think Khalil Herbert's going to be a top 5 running back this week.
I
I
think
think,
that that's a bold prediction.
I think losing Robert Quinn does hurt. that
It
defense.
does hurt.
it does.
Top 5 RB.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Khalil Herbert.
Huh.
That's going to be tough to look up.
What is?
Fantasy points.
I really like Bryan's matchups.
No.
Like, across the board. He has
Bold
a lot
prediction.
of really
Jake
good.
likes Brown's matchup.
Yeah, again, I think your team's trimming up, Bryan. I really do.
I like Derrick Henry versus Houston, Mostert versus Detroit, Tyler
Goddard
Boyd
versus Pitt.
Yeah. Then you also got Olave against Vegas, who's been bad against the pass.
Yeah.
Moore, I think he's going to get a lot of targets again.
I think
And
Moore's a
Tyler
wild
Boyd.
card this week.
I think every one of your receivers exceeds their projections.
Bryan gave us a good stat earlier with, what'd you say? It was
Sam
Shanahan
Fran,
versus
7-0
McVay.
in their last 7 matchups.
And you
for
start
Shanahan.
Garoppolo.
Yep.
You do have some good matchups.
I got Derrick Henry 150 plus and a touchdown. Which I
We're
mean,
out of
Glad
room.
we take that shit.
We're really going
it's almost like that's not even bold with Derrick Henry.
Henry
It feels like
for 150.
150 and a touchdown. Last 4
150.
weeks for him. 20 carries, 22 carries, 28 carries, 30 carries.
We saying total yards or rushing yards?
Total. He doesn't really get much receiving.
No,
it's
but I
almost-
feel
it's
like
almost
I
the same
need
thing,
to
but
add.
it's
Started
nice to say.
introducing it a little bit with him though.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to add.
Which if he can catch passes, that
I know.
Chris Olave, best game of the season. So that
Okay.
would be, give me Chris Olave 20 plus.
all right. 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm gonna be able to put him 19 against the Panthers.
almost as bold as my Dak, but whatever.
If
Well-
you want to make a bold prediction with Dak, I'll just copy and paste last week. You said 450 and 4.
Raiders have the worst pass defense in the NFL. Yeah, I like Olave this week.
Yes, that's a good call. Yes.
I think where Bryan said 3 receivers could go for 60, his team's capable of that this week.
Hey!
There's a lot of plug and play guys there.
Yeah.
Hey!
Dude, Tyler Boyd's had, what?
He's looked good the past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but I
now
don't-
he's going to have even more opportunity against a bad Cleveland secondary.
I'll say last 2 weeks. He had 6 and 66.
DJ
2 weeks
Moore
ago, but, yeah.
against Atlanta is favorable.
Well, the week that I think it was T. Higgins was out.
Tee-hee!
In week 3, he had 4 for 105 and the 1.
Mhm.
So now Jamar's out. He's back to being the number 2 option.
Or one,
Or
depending.
one. I don't know. Do they?
T. Higgins.
Does T? Well, my question is, does
He's the number 1 option, but he
Is
might not be
T.
the
shown enough to be considered ahead of him?
I think T. Higgins.
Think so?
I think T. Higgins. I think Higgins would be number 1 receiver on about half the teams.
Rashad Higgins?
No. To Darius.
T. Higgins?
To Darius.
So what are you taking? What you got a bold prediction for T. Higgins?
T. Higgins isn't in this matchup. T. Higby is a.
T. Higbee. Oh,
All
okay. All right.
We're getting high pitched in here. My ears are
I was waiting. Give me Damian Pierce. What did I do for Damian Pierce last week?
26 fantasy points.
Do it again this week.
All right.
Damian Pierce, 26 plus.
So that you hurt her feelings. You hurt her feelings, man.
Oh, my bad. I'm thinking, man. I'm not typing.
What are you thinking about?
Bold predictions.
Huh?
I'm gonna try to get more right than last week. So if that means shooting more shots, that's what
All
it
right,
means.
you've already made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I got at least 4 more.
It's the
I
10
think we
crack
need to have a
man.
conversation about ETN.
I think we need to have a conversation about JT making bold predictions.
ETN trending upward.
He is trending up.
What's the conversation?
Playing
What's
one
most
best,
put up?
playing
His
one
foot
of the
up
best defenses
most
in football.
last week, 18.4.
What's his carries, man?
His carries have been 14,
9,
10,
3.
10. Oh, okay, you're going the opposite way.
4, 9, 13, 8, and then last 3 weeks when he's taken over for James Robinson, 10, 10, and 14.
You're giving Travis Etienne best game of the season. That's what you're doing.
No.
Oh, okay.
I say he gets 20 plus carries.
That's what I was wondering. Does
Yeah.
he make 20 plus carries out of it?
Ryan going 20 plus carries?
Yeah.
Let me double up with him on that.
All right.
20 plus carries.
I'll triple it.
Let's how many yards do you
All
think he
right.
puts out
Jake
of that?
says 60 carries for Travis Etienne. That's bold. That is
So there's
bold.
carries ever in an NFL game.
Derrick Henry probably 42. I don't know. No,
Did
it's
you
probably,
pull
it's
it out
probably
your ass, or is that
yeah,
legit?
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Somebody can look that up though.
Look it up, look it up, look it up.
I got it.
It was probably who was the guy?
Here's a guy.
No, there was a guy for Cleveland
There's a guy.
a couple of years ago that I had never heard of. He just came in off the streets. I think he had 40 some carries, but I don't remember who it was.
Dearness Johnson?
No, it was a while back, like 5, 6 years ago.
Peyton
maybe.
Hillis?
No.
I'm out.
I was about to say they used to never throw the ball, so it could have been like.
Was his last name Graham, maybe?
Jamie Morris,
See,
1988.
50
for who?
47 carries.
49.
45.
45.
Who did he play for?
Against the Cincinnati Bengals.
4.
Okay.
The Magic.
The Redskins.
Whoa.
Redskin. Sue me.
Potatoes.
Indians.
Are so good.
Okay. Good stat, Bryan.
Yes, indeed.
All right. I got nothing else. Who are we taking? Y'all got something else?
No.
Who are we taking?
I like my matchups this week. I'm going to take myself.
Ooh. Big guy taking
played
himself.
I'm gonna
You quit saying my
go
stuff.
with Bryan as well. I like the matchups.
All right, so Bryan went Bryan. Jake went Bryan.
Give me Bryan.
JT went Bryan. Michael went Bryan. I'm going Tyler.
He's trying to zig where others are zagging.
Yes.
Or is he trying to zag where others are zigging? I don't know. Never.
Are you doing is a zebra a black horse with white stripes or a white horse with black stripes?
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That takes us to our Week 8 matchup of the week.
You went for it there.
And Jake, you know what we do with matchup of the week?
Position by position breakdown.
With a little dance. I like that. That was fancy.
This is fancy matchup this week.
This is. We have the number 1 seed, the team with no name, Jordan
The
Powell.
undefeated team, right?
Yeah, you're right. We have the 10th seed, Smith Schuster
The
and
guy
the
with
Juju.
just one win, right?
You're right.
Everybody gets one.
The live projection for team with no name stands at
Hey,
107.
Amazon man!
Is he coming here?
No.
You want to fuck him up?
Celebrity pick. Celebrity pick. Celebrity pick.
Is he here?
Yeah.
Bing bong.
You didn't even ring the doorbell. Hey.
Don't. Run.
I was going to knock us in the dogwood bar.
He's wearing a toboggan and a ball cap. You should have hit him.
He's wearing toboggan and shorts. He's confused.
All right, we got the team with no name. Live projection 107. We got Smith Schuster and Juju's original projection 106. Closest matchup of the week. Let's look at the quarterbacks: Joe Burrow and Kyler Murray.
Do it.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow against Cleveland on Monday Night Football, starting at 8:15.
Ooh.
Joe Burrow.
I think the Kyler Murray Rondell Moore double up that Andrew has might score themselves a touchdown.
Ooh.
Joe Burrow.
I'm just trying to be excited.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Joe
take
Burrow
Burrow.
without Jamar Chase. Kyler Murray back with DeAndre Hopkins.
Oh,
Murray wins that matchup.
I'm going to give it to Murray as well.
D-Hop's first game was last week, right?
Yes.
D-Hop's first
15
game was
points.
last week.
Also, look at what Joe Burrow, since he's been going off, has done with Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
Since
Jamar
he's
Chase.
been going off,
25.
or since he's been going off?
Well, Joe Burrow's
Yes,
resurgence.
to both.
Correlation.
Last 2 games of
Does not equal
38-5 and 50 over 50. He had 25 points. Jamar Chase did that 38-point week, and the 50-point week he had 29 fantasy points.
Big play.
Where are you going with this?
Joe Burrow gets a lot of big touchdown throws to Mr. Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
If he's not in the
So
line,
is that
he'll
going
get
to take
a big
away
touchdown.
from him?
Does it go other places? Like
It goes other places. I think they'd run the ball a little bit more. Me personally.
Yeah.
Hasn't Mr. Joe Burrow been running touchdowns in this year?
He has. He has rushing touchdown in each of the past 2 games.
Yes. And those have been his 2 highest fantasy scoring weeks of the year. So hopefully they get the ball to Mr. Joe Mixon.
Or potentially
Macaulay Culkin.
T. Higgins. All right, so Kyler.
I don't know if you were pointing at me, but I'm
I'm still going to go Joe.
Joe.
I'm going to go Joey B.
Joe. All right, we're split on that. All right,
Uncle
so
Bobby B.
let's take a look at the receivers. For the team with no name, he has Terry McLaurin. He has Jalen Waddle.
Yep.
He has
Waddle.
DeAndre Hopkins, who we just brought up
Yep.
a few moments ago. Smith Schuster and the Jujus.
Yep.
He does not have Juju this week because they're on
Ooh,
bye.
he's got a bunch of young boys in there.
He's got Devonta Smith. He's got Romeo Dobbs. And he's got Wan'Dale Robinson.
2 second-year guys.
Jordan.
No, 2 rookies and a second-year guy.
2 rookies and a second-year guy.
Yeah, I'm going Jordano.
Hard not to go Jordan here.
Yeah,
Jordan by a lot.
Hard not to go
I
Jordan.
don't think it's going to be a lot.
I think Jalen Waddle might have a big old game.
I want Devontae Smith.
You want Devontae Smith?
Yeah.
All right, on the year, Devontae Smith and
AJ Brown.
A.J. Brown. Who's been better?
AJ Brown
Brown.
by hair.
Yeah.
I think they got the same
I
amount.
think.
I think they got the same amount of catches, but I think AJ Brown might have a little
Didn't
bit
he
more
miss-
yards.
The game? No, AJ Brown ain't missed the game, has he?
No.
No, I don't think AJ Brown's missed a game. I think Devontae might have actually.
Devontae
I think he
looked
played.
like he missed a game because he put up a goose egg
Yeah,
in
week one he had
but
4 targets, no catches.
but since then he's got one game under double digits.
Under 11, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm about to send a trade for him.
Who's got him? Andrew?
Ransdale.
Okay.
Who
looking
we're
at
talking
it.
about?
Looking at it.
Well, I had his thing pulled up, so I wasn't looking at the
Whoa.
What am I gonna
What
send?
are they seeing on that YouTube?
thing. On the screen?
You don't worry about my cousin. He's got wee-wees and stuff over there.
Wee wee.
What is this, New York Public Library?
You buck hard.
No, but
He's in wee-wees.
Yeah, the 3 Chinese brothers.
I want to send him a trade.
Good evening. Bad day for the brothers.
I want to send him a trade.
Oh, we might see a trade off.
I'm going to take Jordan's receivers in this.
I'm gonna take Jordan's as well.
Yeah, I'm taking
I
Jordan.
want Devontae Smith.
I do. I think Kyler Murray's going to have a good game this
You
week.
said this a lot.
I know. I'm gonna send him.
No, I'm saying like you want people, like a lot of people.
I want to get as many Eagles on my team as I can.
It's a bold strategy. I've done that before. It doesn't work out. Putting all your eggs in one team's basket.
That's a good team to put the eggs in the basket, though.
Sure. But if
Wait
that
till
team has
Easter.
a bad week, you are done. Which hopefully that team doesn't have bad weeks. That's what you got to bank on.
I'll think
It's
about
like
it.
the start of the pod.
Because that's what, the pointing thing. That's what Andrew did with Denver that year when he was so dominant in the regular season.
Yeah, but he had one bad week
game and
in
happened to
the
be in the
freaking
playoffs and
playoffs.
you lose it.
Yep, that's right. Happened to Scorp last year too.
Yeah, eggs and baskets. Was that Minnesota?
Basket and eggs.
Was that Minnesota or Pittsburgh?
Is both.
Both. He had to be. He about to say half the team's one, half the team's the other.
He did.
Yeah.
I think the running back matchup is going to be fun to talk about.
Let's do it then.
All right, Josh Jacobs, Brian Robinson Jr.
Eckler on bye might hurt Jordan this week. That dude's been putting up 30 plus.
And going against Christian McCaffrey, former Panther, and
Yes.
Deonta Foreman, current Panther.
Current Panther.
Ugh.
I'm going to take Andrew's running backs.
You would.
Well, Jordan is starting both running backs for Washington, so any rushing yards that isn't quarterback will go to
J.D. McKissick.
maybe.
Nah, he's a passing. He's a
I
passing
like
running back,
Foreman
but
without.
He's there. though.
Chuba Hubbard.
Yep, and I thought he looked really good last week. Atlanta hasn't been very good against the run.
Foreman is a guy who could get 2 touchdowns this week.
See, I think. Whoa.
Are you saying he will?
No, I'm saying he could.
See, I think Foreman goes for 100 and a tutty.
Oh,
All right,
I'm
that's-
putting it down. I hate when y'all say tutty though.
You like it.
Yeah, you do.
You lighting sideways?
Yeah, I got a thing here. All right. Oh. Okay.
You said
Questions
75?
answered.
You said 75 in a tally?
100.
100. Oh, what are you
If you're going to go bold, you better go bold.
So I'm guessing you're going to take Andrew's running backs.
Yeah, I think McCaffrey's going to be more involved in the game plan, and I like what Ryan brought up earlier about 49ers dominance.
It
over-
sounded more and more like Shanahan traded for McCaffrey to keep LA from getting McCaffrey than he wanted McCaffrey.
They said that LA drove the price up
On
for
San
McCaffrey
Fran.
because LA was interested and San Fran was interested and Carolina played them against each other to get more draft picks.
Which is also
Look at
a
us
great
actually
job.
doing something smart for the
Yeah.
first fucking time
There
in
you
6
go.
years.
Right.
And starting PJ Walker.
But I
I
do
wouldn't
think
call that smart yet.
Jordan starting 2 Washington receivers and a Washington wide receiver.
Eggs in baskets.
Yes, eggs and baskets, but with Indy starting a new quarterback, they could be in control of that game and running it quite a bit. So those 2 running backs might get some run in that game.
Who are you going with?
Who you going with?
Oh, I'm going with Andrews. I think McCaffrey might get a ton out of the backfield with.
Can he
Debo.
put up 30 this week?
He can.
McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but no Debo. I think they might use him all over
And
the
Debo's,
field.
yeah.
McCaffrey, best game of the season.
All right, 2 weeks in a row. JT making
Which
it.
puts him, let's see,
21.
21 or 22 plus. I think is what you said last week.
Yeah.
21.3 is what he had week 4.
All right, so I'm just gonna say 22 plus again.
Yeah.
It's easier.
Yeah, I'm going with that. I'll take Andrew as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
In this tight end matchup, I'm taking Andrew.
Yeah.
Tight end, so Mark Andrews.
If this was a Sunday game for Baltimore, I would definitely take Andrews. But since it's already happened and we see what it is, we'll go.
Andrews 4.8, went on Thursday night. Exited early.
I still think it's going to be Mark Andrews.
Taysom Hill, the QB/tight end.
I think they'll
You think
let him run the
Taysom's
ball.
not going to put up 4?
I don't.
Really?
I don't think he gets in the end zone.
Yeah.
I'll take Taysom as well.
And
I'm
this
gonna
year,
take
if he
Taysom.
doesn't
I
get
think
in the end
Taysom
zone,
throwing a touchdown this week.
Oh, I'm putting that down.
throws a touchdown.
Yeah.
All right.
Last 4 weeks, Taysom's cleared that mark, so I'm going to take Taysom.
All right. Let's see. Brian, you said Taysom throws a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
You agree with that, or you just like that I made that claim?
I like you made that claim.
You like that?
I'm not taking it, but I like it. It's bold. Because, passing attempts has even had.
I think he threw.
He threw a touchdown.
He threw one to Juwan Johnson the week he had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
4 touchdowns.
He's got over. They let him throw it a little bit, not much.
Are y'all
A couple times.
So y'all think the Gibson play, or we'll get that in a second.
Okay.
Oogie.
Who's his other tight end? Because I know he doesn't have another one. It's
Kelsey. Oh, you talking about Andrew?
Yeah, I'm just talking about.
He's
Andrew.
had a lot over the year, but I
Yeah.
think he just said, I'm putting it all on Taysom.
I like that pickup when he made it, just because again they're going to use him in different ways, and he's got a shot at getting a touchdown that
He's
I
got
think
more
is-
opportunities to
yeah.
score in different ways for tutties.
Right. But I like that.
He
He
can
can
run-
More chances for
tutty.
reservation for 6.
he can run and catch.
He can
can
run a
throw.
tutty,
He can hit
catch a
Bader
tutty,
any way
he
you
can
want
throw a
to.
tutty.
Touchdowns worth 6.
He
no
can
matter
even
which
have
way
a
you get
special teams tutty.
Yeah.
Good.
Tutty.
All right. Stupid.
Big tutties.
All right, so let's look at the flex matchup. We brought up Antonio Gibson a couple times.
All right.
Ron brought up Rondale Moore once earlier.
I did.
Do you like him over Curtis Samuel this week?
Do I
Either
like
way, he's starting
Gibson
3
over-
Commanders.
Curtis Samuel?
Yeah.
I think last week was the first week
I don't
that
know.
Terry McLaurin's been used more than Curtis Samuel all year, so I don't know if that's a change just with Heineke.
I think I'd start Claypool.
I think Andrew needs to pick up Darius Slate and put him in his lineup.
Who's
So
he gonna
Andrew
drop?
would start 2
Jeff Wilson?
Giants receivers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eggs and baskets.
Yes.
On a, 6-1 team?
Would you start him over Rondell or Doug?
Absolutely, I'd start him over Rondale.
I think Rondell's going to have a good game. Already got him down for a touchdown.
Do you?
If yeah, I said when I was talking about Murray.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's all good. I ain't mad at you. You writing sideways now? You a margin writer? You got to write smaller, man.
Sitting sideways.
Well, all right, Paul Wall for a touchdown? No? We're not sitting sideways?
Paul Wall.
T. Higgins.
Tee-hee!
It's like
Give
Pavlov's
me.
I'm taking more in this matchup.
Okay. I don't know, man.
I'm a good Gibson.
Give me Gibson, I guess.
Give me Gibbs.
Yeah.
Give me fuel.
I don't know.
Fire.
Who's your favorite Gibbs? We're not doing this
We're
again.
not doing this again because that didn't turn out well. All right, defense matchup. You got Tampa Bay put up 12. Does Dallas get over 12 versus Chicago?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Jake?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm taking Dallas in the defensive battle. All right, so who you taking overall in our Week 8 matchup of the week?
For the first time, I think Jordan loses.
Oh!
I agree.
Because he doesn't
I'm in agreement with that.
Because he doesn't have Mr. Eckler.
So this is what I'm looking at. It's like I think Andrew's got a slight victory in running back, but I think Jordan's got such a better matchup with receivers.
And he's got better receivers.
That doesn't hurt.
So you're taking Jordan?
Man, I do think I didn't.
The
I
suspense is
Talked
killing me.
himself into a corner.
I didn't
really
pay attention
have.
to the wide receivers that he's got. That's such an advantage on.
This
I
is
think
why
it's
it's
gonna
matchup of
happen.
the week's not supposed to be
I
easy.
think it's going to happen.
That's what she
I
said.
think Hobb against Minnesota is good for him. Waddle's going to have a big week.
Oh, Waddle.
Lawrence look better with Heineke in. Like I agree with everything you were saying there.
I got a smart guy.
He's not typey. He thinky.
I type him. My
And then
hands is
Jacobs has had a big year. Like,
not small.
dude, I'm just so all over the place right now.
Most people think.
I'll take Jordan.
I'm going to take Jordan as well.
Chalk. And Michael took Jordan.
So
I could see an upset, but
Did we have 2 on Andrew?
Yeah.
Two on
yeah,
Andrew,
3-2.
three on Jordan.
Me and Brian said 3-2.
It's a good matchup.
it's a good
That's why it's
matchup.
matchup of the week.
Matchup of the week.
Not supposed to be easy.
Not supposed to be easy.
It's not supposed to be. That's what she said.
That's what she
Yeah.
Full circle.
T. Higgins.
did. There's going to be some movement in the standings this week.
You like that, don't you?
Dude, I love
It's
it.
one of our favorites.
Yeah, things get shaken up this week, boys.
Shake it.
Hey, breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Who's breaking it?
Bleacher Report just said that they will not put Jamar Chase on the IR, and they do expect him back.
I believe we broke that.
We said that.
Well, we said there was a possibility. We didn't.
Nah, we're taking credit for that shit. Fuck them.
No, we said.
They listened to the pod and now they.
I talked to Jamar's people.
Right.
All three of them.
So,
Oh, of course. What are you, an idiot?
Man, fuck you.
That's what they said when I called them. So how'd you get this number?
it's okay.
All right.
All right, we done.
All right, any closing thoughts on week 8?
No, man.
Just I hope no one has big injuries.
Small ones only.
Small injuries only. All right, that wraps it up for the Fantasy Football 5. We will see you again next week. Tee hee!